image. Turned out there was no appetite for it. People online, even President Trump, decried the change, and within days, Cracker Barrel reversed course and went back to the original logo.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right now we've just got the usual slowdowns in the usual places, but a little added extra. We got debris in the road in Smyrna going eastbound on 24 at Almaville Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, my friends. Welcome once again to another edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're so pleased that you've made the decision to attempt to join us. Why am I in overalls? What, you didn't think I would see myself in an orange shirt and overalls on the YouTube page?
Oh, I know you knew you'd see it. That's why I did it.
Oh, I guess because I'm I see what you're doing there, because I'm a farmer and I'm going after the Amish and the deaf.
You like that undershirt?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know that I liked it. I see it. That's a bright orange. That's more of I'm going to go ahead and call that an Auburn orange. I don't feel like that's a Tennessee orange.
That is a Tennessee orange, sir. I put in the exact color code for the...
Oh, did you now?
I did.
Oh, did you now? Well, you can join us over there on YouTube, and you can see the slide for yourself. It says, Matt goes after the Amish and the deaf. And look, I'm on the old farm there. Down in Summertown or wherever it might be in Middle Tennessee. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, let's reset, get the pleasantries. By the way, if you're watching on Super Talk, I have no idea why I'm wearing. I don't know what's going on here. Would you describe this to everyone, Jackson?
Somebody in the office said you look like a priest.
Somebody in the office said, because I'm wearing black pants, black shoes, and a black shirt, and someone said I look like a priest, and so they gave me a little. You see this, Ken? A little priestly collar.
I see that, Brother Murphy.
That's about as close as I'm going to get to the confessional. Let's get that out of there. There we go. Hope everybody's doing well. How you doing, Ken?
How about you boys?
How's the AC in the Weaver household?
Working like a charm,
There
dude.
you go. I like hearing
Just
that.
had to blow out that condenser line again.
You got to keep it maintenance. You got to keep that maintenance going. You
I
keep
got to
the
figure out
maintenance
how to
up.
do that myself. But see, whenever I start trying to do stuff like that, it turns into a terrible, expensive tragedy.
You screw it up.
I could.
Yeah, I mean that sometimes is the case. I mean, I feel like we can do most of those things on our own.
I think I could, but it's like I know what I need to do. It's just if I do it, I could really screw things up.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair. Where is your where is your unit?
It's in the attic.
Oh well, good gracious! Pay the man. Just call the man.
Yeah, it's like 150 degrees in our attic.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. You don't need that in your life.
No.
I would not recommend working out of doors unless you absolutely have to work out of doors, in which case God bless you as you work out of doors.
Yes, sir.
But now's the time. They're not even giving. So, Weaver.
Yes, sir.
You're guilty too, buddy boy, and I'm going to lump you in with the rest of them. They're not even giving the temperature anymore.
Yeah,
But
they're just going straight to the heat index.
They just go straight to the heat index, and that is what gnaws at me. If y'all want to know what sticks in my craw about heat index, one, real feels. Don't tell me how I feel about the weather. I'll tell me how I feel about the weather. I don't need you to tell me how I feel about the weather.
What are those real feels today, Ken?
Jackson Williams had the greatest experience of his young life last night, Ken.
He told me briefly about it.
Yeah, he related to me at 2:05 this morning via text that it was the greatest experience of his life.
I said the greatest movie I've ever seen in theaters.
And I'm just extrapolating that is the greatest experience of his young life.
It's not.
The greatest experience that you've ever had in a movie theater?
Yeah.
Man.
What was her name? I wanted to say that a different way, but I got to be careful. I don't want to nasty the show up. Speaking of getting the show down in the gutter, we've got something that we have to deal with before we get too far in the broadcast, and that is there were people casting aspersions about my good name earlier today on the Chris Hand Show. Did you catch any of that, Ken Weaver?
I did.
Mm-hmm. Are you aware of why we had to hang up on Bonnie, Ken Weaver?
I am not.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that.
So
She said a bad word.
Bonnie said a nasty word.
Is this the sweet little Bonnie that always calls?
Uh-huh.
And she said a nasty word?
She did.
She did.
She said a word that you are not allowed to say on the radio.
Bonnie.
And so, I mean,
If you're wondering, it was Richarding.
yes.
Good.
She accused people of Richarding around. Now, Ken, if you're in my shoes here, I know you just do the news. But if sweet, delicate Bonnie said that on your radio show, wouldn't you have to dump that?
Well, you would.
Yeah.
You would. You can't say that on the radio.
You can't say that on the radio, Bonnie. But I want to make amends because I have been informed by individuals in the know that perhaps I was a bit too hard on Bonnie in the aftermath of having to dump her and hang up on her telephone call. Now, if you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, never you fear. We'll get you caught up on that and many, many other things as we get the show lumbering under our own weight. It's episode 1084 today. It is July 28 in the year of our Lord 2026. It's a Tuesday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. You can find us on a variety of platforms, 99.7 FM, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, just to name three of the apps where we are. We're on just about every application that you can imagine that delivers news, talk, and information. We're there. We also have our own SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. Look that up on your app store and download us and take us wherever you'd like to go. Talk TV up and running. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. The aforementioned Talk TV includes a nice slide of Matt Murphy in overalls. Have you ever worn overalls, Jackson?
No.
I mean, what? Why are you reacting that way? You spent many of your formative years in a part of the world where I have it on good authority that on Saturdays in the fall, they love wearing those checkerboard overalls around.
I didn't do the checkerboard overalls.
Ken Weaver,
Yes, sir.
you ever worn overalls?
I never have, but I'm not against it.
I'm not against it either, although I tried to wear overalls, Ken. I wanted to be that guy. Several years ago, I wanted to do the overall thing when I'm working in the yard. I wanted to be the overall guy.
First 2 wiener dogs I bought came from a guy wearing overalls.
Yeah?
He opened up the door, and out came about 50 wiener dog puppies.
There you go.
And he started picking them up and putting them in each pocket he had. It was great.
See, that's awesome. That's top notch.
Do you have a video of this?
No, but I wish I did.
I wish you did too.
Whole bunch of wiener dogs.
But I just didn't like it. I didn't like the fact. So if you wear overalls, maybe I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But you,
Do they ride up?
well, no, it's not they ride up. It's just there's nothing at your waist to indicate. So I've been wearing pants so long. I felt constantly like my pants were falling down while I was wearing the overalls. But the overalls they're attached by your shoulders.
Yeah.
It's just odd. I guess I just needed to get used to them.
And they're hot.
Well, I mean, they
Get
can
hot
be.
in there.
Well, you talk about some swamp ass.
Yeah, that just traps the swamp ass.
Down in the crotchal region? Sure. That's fair. That's fair. And that's all we have to say about overalls. Anyway, I'm in overalls on the talk television side of things. So we've got lots to get into. Obviously, it's we're 9 days out before we reach the crescendo that is the Tennessee primary season, and it can come none too soon. Let me tell you, I looked high and low for this advertisement that I wanted to play for you on the radio today. Could not find it. Jackson, if you find this, you get a raise. It's an anti-Marsha Blackburn ad that I saw yesterday.
Is it the song?
No, it's the pharmaceutical ad. Is that the song?
There's a song one.
This one was, I can't really remember. I saw it last night. It's like it's a mock-up of a pharmaceutical ad where they're calling her Queen Pharma Mama.
Yes.
Is that what it is? That's the same thing. Goodness. It's hilarious.
And there's a fake Marsha at the end.
All the Marshas are fake. It's completely AI.
Goodness.
Oh, kid. It's ridiculous. If you're a Marsha fan, you're going to say it's ridiculous. If you don't like Marsha very much, or if you're just a neutral observer, it's hilarious. And I wanted to find it to play it. I can't find it.
They're going to have to get a handle on that.
On the
AI stuff.
On the AI things. Well, it is. We passed a law in the state of Tennessee where it's illegal for them to do that without indicating that it is artificial intelligence on the advertisement.
Right.
They do not have. So I guess somewhere in that ad, there's some indicator that that's AI because that's obviously
real little print.
Oh yeah, itty bitty tiny little. Yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. So if anybody knows where it is, send it to me. 615-737-9986. You can give me the old link on the text message feature. You can text message us at any point during the show, and you can also call the show at any time that you'd like at 615-737-9986. We spent a good amount of time yesterday talking about the Anthony Fauci, the new updates on Anthony Fauci. We can continue that conversation today. I failed to bring up Donald Trump over the weekend, and I might be able to get to some of those clips if you missed them over the weekend. It's still, regurgitating some of those, they're absolutely delicious. I'm talking about the clips from the White House Correspondents' redo, where he went after a number of liberals. Pretty funny stuff. Cracker Barrel CEO is gone. We discussed that yesterday, and we'll continue that conversation today as well. You know what? We might play a game of Who You Got at some point over the course of the show today. Who you got in the gubernatorial race? Who you got in the congressional race? You, Jackson? Do you think they got you? No, we're holding our fire, buddy. I got some advertising. I got some ideas for you.
I thought you were going to run the anti-ads.
We'll do it in conjunction. It's all about the show, right? It's all about promoting your candidacy and allowing the chips fall where they may. But yes, I am going to run the anti-ads for you. What are you? Oh, Jackson just yawned, Ken. Oh, you a little sleepy?
I am a little
sleepy, buddy? You a little nappy? You up late?
I was up late.
Tell me about your experience.
The Odyssey 70mm IMAX, 11 p.m. showing. It was excellent. It was just a really good. I don't want to spoil. It's a 3,000-year-old story, so saying spoil it is,
No, I think we know the story, right?
Yes.
It's Odysseus trying to get home from the Trojan War.
And the cinematography, the scenes, it looks so good. And the screen is massive. It is so big.
Mm-hmm.
It was an awesome movie.
So you went in, 11 o'clock, got some popcorn.
I did.
got settled in. Did you have to go to the bathroom at any point during the film?
During the third hour, I did, but I held it until the end.
Good for you. What is it fast? Is it a fast-paced 3 hours?
It does not feel like 3 hours.
What would you say about the wokeism involved in the film?
I didn't notice any.
Okay. Fair.
It's very... it's not there.
I mean, I think most of that is born of the casting choices and the fact that I think Nolan made a decision about the end of the movie. Like, he got them back to, well, I don't want to spoil anything either, but he got them back together at the end.
Yes, the ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say that there was a single bad performance in this movie.
Well, that's high praise. You declared it the greatest experience of your young movie watching life.
Yeah, it's the best movie I've ever seen in theaters, and it's not particularly close.
Wow. What was the best one?
Probably Nolan's last film, Oppenheimer.
You're a Nolan fan.
I am a Nolan.
I'm a Nolan fan myself.
I realized I had seen the last 3 of his movies in theaters. Tenet, Oppenheimer, and
I haven't seen Tenet.
It's okay. It's my least favorite Nolan film.
Well, I get the feeling that all of the claims of wokeism in the film are a little overwrought. Typically that is the case where, I can kind of separate the politics from the other stuff. If you throw it in my face, and some do, then I'm out. I'm out on it. But I'll forgive you a little bit of it for the betterment of the enjoyment of the movie. But I think, people that are, angry about casting choices, well, here's the deal. You don't have to go. I mean, nobody is forcing you to go see this film. Nobody's forcing you to expose yourself to this film. And, oh, by the way, if you're worried that your kids are going to get a misguided perception about history, well, number one, this is a work of fiction. Number two, obviously there are people within the work that are in the historical record, and I can understand why you might get a little frustrated about that, but go read the book.
And number 3, it's R-rated.
And number 3, it's R-rated. I didn't know that. A lot of blood and guts.
A lot of swearing.
Yeah. Well, they throwing around F-bombs in ancient Greece?
They were.
So they modernized the language.
Which I personally love that choice. It made it much easier to follow because the story is very much broken up. Like you'll go, it's kind of like an episode of a TV show where you go and follow these characters for a little while, then you go back to where you were with, and the modern dialogue helps you keep up.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really good choice. And there are just, the effects, because, Nolan does all practical.
He doesn't do any CGI?
He does as little as possible.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And the effects in this movie, looking at some of the behind-the-scenes stuff this morning when I woke up, just how they made certain scenes just gives you a whole new appreciation for the kind of filmmaking that he does.
So you and I are going back then?
I would see this movie again.
All right. I would go see it.
I think I very rarely would want to go see a movie again. I would 100% go see this movie again.
Well, there's a full-throated review. I think we're giving it 10 out of 10 Jacksons if I'm reading the room correctly.
I gave A Few Good Men a 10 out of 10 yesterday. And I personally, after watching The Odyssey, I believe it is an 11 out of 10.
Well, Jackson, there's no such thing as an 11 out of 10, but that's okay.
What we're going with.
All right. Well, you continue to give 110% on this radio show, and we'll be just fine. I understand. Don't go to bed. Y'all keep calling Jackson to keep him up. 22 after the hour, we'll get into a few content-related matters to include the latest on the governor's race. John Rose was on the Chris Hand Show. Bonnie was trashing Matt Murphy on the Chris Hand Show. Bonnie, I hope you're listening because I want you to call. I want to make nice with Bonnie today. Anybody know Bonnie? Get her to call us. Let's make nice. I'm offering Bonnie an opportunity to co-host the show with me today on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy, and let's talk for a moment about the Tennessee Men's Clinic. I'm telling you, folks, if you're low energy and you're a fella, you need to get to the Tennessee Men's Clinic because they can assist you. It is typical for men at certain parts of their age to lose testosterone levels. And when that happens to you, it can be debilitating. You can lose energy in your life. You can lose that romantic linkage that you had in your relationship. If that's the case, it's time to get to the Tennessee Men's Clinic because they can assist you. And in their effort to assist you, they have 4 separate locations. There's the old school location in Nashville, great location in Midtown. I've been there many times. There's the Cool Springs store. Obviously, they've got the Clarksville joint, and the Murfreesboro spot is the brand new location for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Start online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com or make the call and make the appointment. Let's get back into the game and back into life, men. For $99, you can get your first consultation. They'll get a little blood work. They'll figure out what's going on inside of your body. It's the Tennessee Men's Clinic, 615-208-9090, 615-208-9090.
Two tragic stories involving children in Nashville. We've got the very latest coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I have no interest in getting into a fight about this, by the way. But I'm going to engage in this conversation anyway. 27 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Give us a call, 615-737-9986. If you'd like to call the show, love to turn a monologue into a dialogue. It's my favorite thing we do every day. You can also text us on the text line, same number, 615-737-9986. I don't care that much that Helen of Troy was a black actress. I understand that that is not historically accurate. You know what it is also a work of fiction. And I'm amazed at the amount of people that are getting caught up in it. If that is what takes you off the movie, then don't go see the movie. That's all I can tell you. How much is Helena Troy? I mean, is she in it a lot?
Maybe 3 minutes. I think she has 2 bits of dialogue.
So it's not even a big part.
It is not.
But yes, I understand that Helena Troy is the face that launched 1,000 ships, and everybody's saying, well, this actress doesn't measure up and yada, yada, yada. I'm fascinated because, and I'm not singling Scott out necessarily. Scott says wokeism isn't necessarily putting an agenda in the story of the movie. It can be something as simple as casting a white Greek character as a black woman. Wait a minute. Greek people are white? I mean, I guess. Are Greeks Caucasian? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. They're Middle Eastern. You damn well know it never goes the other way. They're never going to cast a white actor as a traditionally black character. No, I mean, I don't imagine that would be the case. And I've never been a fan of cross casting in that fashion. I've never, but rarely does it come up that this happens, right? The historical accuracy of films in films based in history is important to me. And so if this were a historical drama, then I would expect that the casting would measure up to it. Other than that, I've just never been bothered by these things like so many other people have been. I can choose with my dollar to go do other things. And if enough of us choose with our dollar to go do other things, then you will begin to get that which you desire from an entertainment perspective. But apparently it is not so offensive that this movie has not already made $1 gajillion, and there's a waiting list to go see it in Nashville, Tennessee on the 70mm IMAX. So
yeah, the Pack Theater. It's in its third or fourth week now, and on a Monday night at 11 p.m., there was not a single seat in the theater.
I just feel like, and y'all can say that I'm a problem, that I'm a part of the problem. I just feel like there's enough for me to be pissed off about that I don't need to be pissed off about this. And I feel like we're choosing to be pissed off about this when there's no need for it. You know what? If it's not for you, let's not go see it. Elon said that he was putting up a different one. Elon said that he was going to put up on the X machine the story of Odysseus, and he said it wasn't going to be woke. So let's wait for that, and let's support that if that's the case. 30 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Earl, you'll be next on the governor's race. That's after this. News time on Super Talk.
.3:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everybody's under at least a marginal risk of severe weather. That'll be tonight. Everybody east of 65 will be under a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, so a little bit more than a marginal risk. Right now, it's hot. 94 degrees is the real temperature, but the heat index is 106 over at the airport. Full forecast traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Couple of tragic stories in Nashville. First, Channel 4's Sarah Allen reporting on a 2-year-old who drowned in a backyard pool.
Metro Police say 2-year-old Viomara Laura Ortiz and her father were planning to swim around 6 p.m. in their backyard pool Monday. When the father was changing, Viomara ran off and he began searching for her. After several minutes, he found her in the pool unresponsive. Police say, according to camera footage, Viomara was in the water for about 8 minutes before she was found by her father. He performed CPR on her and then rushed her to a fire station nearby. She later died at Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital.
That happened on Sadler Avenue there in South Nashville. Detectives are investigating. Authorities have described the drowning as an apparent accident. Former campers and people who live near the YMC camp in Antioch still trying to process the death of a 15-year-old boy who was crushed by a fallen tree yesterday out on a group hike.
Well, we were just kind of shocked and surprised because nothing very bad ever happens over there. It's a very nice, peaceful place, and the kids are well behaved and they run the place nicely. And so we were kind of shocked to hear that.
Now, Channel 4 says 15-year-old Camden Robert Callahan of Virginia was fatally injured when that tree fell along the trail. It had already been leaning overhead when another camper touched it, tried to do some chin-ups on it, and That's what brought it down. Metro Police have ruled the teen's death an accident. And election 2026, Republican gubernatorial candidate John Rose telling WTN's Chris Hand his take on flock cameras.
I think it would be a mistake to stick our head in the sands and pretend this technology didn't exist, and that it can be used like all tools. It can be used for good or it can be used for ill. We need to make sure that we use it for the good that we can achieve with it, for the law enforcement advantages that it brings us, and protect ourselves from the ill with procedures and robust punishments for those people who might seek to use this stuff for the wrong reason.
So there has not been a widely reported Tennessee-specific case showing flock data being improperly used, but the technology is facing growing scrutiny from both civil liberties advocates and some elected officials, including some here in Tennessee. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over by the airport, we've got a stalled vehicle blocking the right exit lane, 40 eastbound before Briley Parkway East. Got a crash at White Bridge Pike, south of Charlotte Pike. Buena Vista Pike at Clarksville Pike. Then in Belmead, a crash. Harding Pike near Hillwood Boulevard, Linwood Trace. In Madison, a crash. Briley Parkway westbound at Gallatin Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
I mean, she doesn't even mention the high temperature right there. That's the example, right? She says, "Oh, the heat, the it's going to feel like 110." Well, what is it going to be? Is it going to be 98? How about 98 degrees and it's going to feel hotter because of the humidity? Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. No. We got to exploit. See, we're being exploitative now. We're being exploitative because 110. That sounds a lot worse. Why not just say, what if it feels like it's 120 to grandma? Let's just go ahead and say 120. Be done with it. I'll shut up now. Defense Systems is the way to go when it comes to defending your property and making sure that your staff, your people in your school, your church, your place of business, they are well armed with information. You know, combating this dangerous world is more than just about the Second Amendment and arming yourself in that fashion. It's all about arming yourself with info, making sure that you understand what to do in the unlikely event that you find yourself in a violent workplace situation or some sort of situation where there is danger, there are medical needs, whatever it might be, Defense Systems can help. I saw them first when they came to Cumulus Nashville, was so impressed. I said, Brink, let me tell everybody about you. And he has since that time, some 4 years ago. Active shooter response training, workplace violence prevention, emergency and intruder action plans, all of these things developed for you, your staff, and your facility. That's what it's all about. DefenseSystems.com, providing that information for a long time now to Middle Tennessee and beyond. 615-236-6484. 236-6484 for Defense Systems. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy, the Matt Murphy Radio Show. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer has offered a warning to Dr. Anthony Fauci. We discussed this at length yesterday. Some of these diary entries are just insane, confirming what we have known for a long, long time, and that is the individual that we were supposed to trust, the people, the groups of people that we were to trust with regard to the quote-unquote science were lying their butts off to us about said same. We'll get into that coming up in a moment. Earl, we'll get to you in a second. Just real quick, because several people are asking. So the Bonnie situation, as we will call it, and that is a loose reference to Pulp Fiction. You remember Pulp Fiction? Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, we did it for the...
I thought we did it. Remember the Bonnie situation? Yeah. Because Bonnie was coming home. Mm-hmm. And they got the dude in the car, and they got to get... I mean, we got this situation. The situation's coming to a head. So Bonnie calls Han today, and she's very mad at me. Do you have how long is this? What are we talking about?
About a minute 45.
Minute 45. I might end it a little early. Just... Lovely Miss Bonnie from...
No, we have to play the whole thing.
Do we? Why? What, she gets mad?
It gets good at the end.
What did she start? Did you cut off the part of her talking about the Amish? She started ragging on the Amish.
That was like 5 minutes. And yeah.
Yeah, that was a big old rant that she started ragging on the Amish, claiming the Amish don't pay taxes. The Amish do pay taxes. They don't pay, if they work on the farm, they don't pay Social Security taxes, but that's a different deal. But they do pay their other forms of taxation, property tax and the like in the state of Tennessee. But Bonnie is very angry at Matt Murphy. Here's a listen from the Chris Hand Show earlier today.
Let's go to our friend Bonnie on the phone. What's up, Bonnie? How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. It's been a while since you've called in, Bonnie. You doing good?
Well, I called in last week, and I was talking to Matt. Matt got mad at me and cut me off the phone.
Well, you know, that guy and his temper, I'll have a talk with him.
It's fair. That's fair.
Well, he's a little, I think he's a swinger. I think he's in between a Democrat and a Republican.
Okay, stop it.
Right, I have known you to be a swinger.
Number one, I'm glad she clarified. I'm glad you clarified what she meant. Bonnie has listened to me long enough, and for those who have listened to me for the length of time that I've been in Nashville, Tennessee, or even beyond, I've got people that still listen to me from my time out in Birmingham, Alabama. I've never claimed to be a Republican or a Democrat, Bonnie, ever. And I will never be a Democrat. Obviously, I will never be a Republican. I am an independent thinker. I feel like I am a clear thinker. And if I am anything, if I'm to be described in any political terminology, I would describe myself, as I always have, as a small L libertarian, meaning I believe in the philosophy of government serves best when only absolutely necessary and least. I believe leaving individuals to their own freedoms and their own responsibilities, and only should we enter those social contracts where there is a limitation on rights if there is a demand by others that we protect the health and safety of other people through force or fraud from you or me or anybody else. That's what the social contract's all about. So I don't think that Republicans are conservative enough for me anymore, Bonnie. So I mean, just to answer that question, but yes, I'm a swinger, says Bonnie. Go.
I think he's a swinger. I think he's in between a Democrat and a Republican.
Matt? You think Matt's in between a Democrat and a Republican?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. So we do a podcast every week, and Matt and I, we were texting last night, and I said, because Dan's not going to be there this week when we do our podcast. Spoiler alert. So I said to Matt, we need to find something that we disagree on. And we couldn't really come up with many things. And because I wanted to have an argument during the podcast, and I think I just found something to really roast Matt on. I'm going to come in guns blazing, and I'm going to say you were disrespectful to Miss Bonnie, and you need to make a public apology.
He was. And let me tell you this, okay? I don't want to make it short because I know maybe there's other people that would like to talk, and I don't want to take all the time up.
We constantly, Miss Bonnie, we have a phone bank full of people who think Matt has lost his temper about something.
Well, I think Matt's maybe not happy at home with his woman. And a lot of times when
Bonnie just went for the jugular. She's slicing and dicing.
Bonnie needs to come down to Mount Pleasant and say hello to us. Come eat at the Mount Pleasant Grill. I mean, my goodness gracious. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go right ahead. Are we almost done?
Well, I think Matt's maybe not happy at home with his woman. And a lot of times when
Bonnie just went for the jugular.
That's pretty much the end.
Bonnie then went on to spend the rest of her time on the Chris Ann Show bashing the Amish, which Bonnie and I can agree on because I've been doing this radio show a long time, and I have long said that there are two groups of people that you can bash with impunity on the radio, and that's the Amish and the deaf. Because what are they going to do? They're not listening. I mean, it's true. And why would someone would have to tell the Amish that I'm bashing them on the radio because they don't listen to the radio, right? So it's kind of you get a free pass on it. So I feel like that's low-hanging fruit for Bonnie. But let me give you the rest of the story, friends. For those listening this morning and wondering why was Matt Murphy so mean to Bonnie, and perhaps Jackson, would you say I was overly mean to her because I kind of got upset because she cursed?
No, you just said, Bonnie, got to watch your mouth. Got to watch your mouth.
And then I understand. Right after the call, I was like, you can't do that. I'm like, why do callers call in and they use nasty language? And you ruin a good call that way. I was more frustrated with the fact that we had such a great call going. We had such a great conversation going. And then Bonnie had to go the potty mouth route.
She said a nasty word.
She did. She said that I forget who she was talking about, but whoever she was talking about, she was tired of them.
It was Donald Trump.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump. She was tired of him Richarding around.
With the Iranians.
With the Iranians. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the Amish goes, I live down in Amish country, if you will.
Yeah, they'll get their pitchforks on you. You better be careful.
So I love the Amish on the record. I said something incorrectly, though, earlier today. I said that the Amish regularly post out at the auto parts store at the Auto Zone in Mount Pleasant, and I was immediately corrected by my lawn guy, Justin. By the way, he could be your lawn guy, too. Lawn Guys, LLC. Great company, great guy. But Justin corrected me, and rightly so. That is not an AutoZone in Mount Pleasant. That's an Advance Auto Parts, and I should be ashamed of myself. And I'm sorry for that. But he does. They bring a little buggy in and they post up and they sell tomatoes and they sell other goods that they make on the farm. And you can find them all over. You go down Highway 43, just I guess to the south and to the west of Mount Pleasant, and you'll find them before you get into Summertown and before you get into Lawrence County and all that. You'll find, oh man, they're all over the place. They normally post up in front of convenience stores, and they got good maters. The Amish are good people. And yes, Bonnie, to answer your question, they do pay taxes. Their tax structure is a little bit different. I don't believe they pay Social Security taxes or into the payroll system because they're working on the farm as a family unit. But other than that, they do pay taxes. Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you for the call. Ms. Bonnie, you're invited anytime you'd like to come back on the radio show. Just don't curse. 615-737-9986. Earl is next on the governor's race. Let's go, Earl.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time, Matt.
Yes, sir.
We had a time yesterday, but all I wanted to say is I wanted the people to think about Marsha Blackburn. If she's so against no immigration coming to Tennessee, why didn't she stop the Biden administration when she was there in Congress? She could have done something to stop it nationwide. I think she's just a big bluff. And all she wants to do is be the first woman governor, state of Tennessee, and people's falling for it. I don't think she'll do nothing for us, but just live off of us, live in that mansion, rent-free. I'm dead against her 1,000%, and I appreciate your show, and watch your little buddy in the back that went to the movie last night.
Ken, I was going to ask Earl who he had in the race, between the other two. Obviously, he's not a Martian man, but I felt like that was a mic drop. So I had to give him the mic drop. He said all that, and he said, and watch your little buddy in the back there who went to the movie last night. Now, what does that mean, I wonder?
I don't want to know.
I think Earl is suggesting, if I may be so bold as to guess, using the years that I have been doing this radio program, using the wisdom that I've accumulated over my years on this earth.
Oh, so this should be good.
I would suggest that Earl was accusing you of having a little bit of liberalism coursing through your veins, Jackson. I don't know why.
I enjoyed a movie.
I don't know why he would have done that, but
it's just fun.
How dare you? How dare you go to the IMAX theater?
How dare I use the freedom that we have in this country to go see a movie of my choosing at 11 p.m. on a school night and have a good time.
God bless this country.
Exactly.
And God bless Governor Gravitas. 2028 or 2026. What the hell year is it?
It's 2026.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken Weaver.
They say the mind's the second thing to go.
What's the first?
I can't remember.
Can't remember. 51 after the hour. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for King and Associates Insurance. I mean, one thing is for sure. If you get in an automobile accident, you need insurance, particularly if it's your fault, obviously. If you have a home, if you own your own home, you've got to have insurance on that too, because you never know when something might befall you in the ownership of your home. You know, like a storm that might put a limb or whatnot on your roof, whatever it might be. Homeowners insurance is insanely important. King and Associates Insurance makes sure that you have both at a lower price than you might expect. They're local, they're independent, they work for you, not the big insurance companies. Online at kinginsurance.com. That's kinginsurance.com, or call 329-8121, 329-8121. tkinginsurance.com. King and Associates Insurance. They're good people. They work for you, and I trust that they're going to get you the best rates that you've ever had on your automobile or your homeowner's insurance. Protecting what matters most. King and Associates Insurance.
Newly released records provide disturbing details about a fatal dog attack here in Middle Tennessee. It left an infant dead. We'll let you know about that coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy, the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Thank you for being with us. Jason Gilliam is coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. He's going to be with us discussing, obviously, he's the head of the Republican Party in Murray County, but he's also going to be talking about the water issues that we discussed briefly with Dustin Kittle yesterday. He'll be in studio for a few moments. So if you have any questions about that, by all means, we'll be able to get you in. Ray is next up. What's up, Ray?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm glad you got smart listeners because they might be able to help you out a little bit with this.
All right.
I was watching a documentary, and it focused mostly on the southeast region, and it was they were talking about the opioid crisis and what was going on there, and they mentioned Marsha Blackburn taking a bunch of money from Big Pharma during that time. Now, I don't know who I'm going to vote for yet, but that pisses me off.
Okay.
And furthermore, I'd just like to say, I think we've got to be careful about, well, not careful, but just cognizant about the people we vote into office, because it's so easy to get corrupt once you get up there. And I'd be silly to think that that's not going to happen, that people are not going to take the big money from the folks. And
all right, so I've got some info for you if you'd like it. I just looked it up. You ready?
Yeah, I'd love it.
And this is according to OpenSecrets.com, which is a website designed specifically to make sure that we know where the money is coming from. Now, I do not believe, I'm not one of these that believes that you necessarily are being forced to vote a certain way or to act a certain way just because you take money from certain organizations or certain industries. But, it's up to you, Ray, to decide whether or not that bothers you enough that it might take you off one candidate and put you on another. So without further ado, throughout her political career, according to OpenSecrets.com, U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn has received $1,361,176 in campaign contributions from the pharmaceutical and health products industry. Data compiled by the nonpartisan campaign finance tracking organization Open Secrets ranks her as one of the top Senate recipients of funding from the pharmaceutical and health product sector. During the 2023-2024 election cycle alone, she accepted $316,656 from employees and PACs associated with the pharmaceutical industry. Between 2017 and 2022, she took $215,500 specifically from pharma and health product political action committees.
Well, if she's just shampooing her hair, that's fine.
Well, I mean, once again, it's all about does that create a reaction? I don't know that necessarily it has created a dynamic by which Marsha Blackburn is ridiculously defensive of the pharmaceutical industry. I've not necessarily seen that, but it does come up from time to time, the amount of money that she takes from the industry. Once again, I do not believe that accepting money from political action committees automatically means that you're in the pocket for said committees. I judge the actions of an individual politician as opposed to the action of contributing to that politician's campaign. At the same time, there's a reason they're giving money to the campaign, and it's not because you're going to vote against them. It is 4 o'clock on Super Talk.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee is under at least a marginal risk of severe weather tonight. Everybody east of 65 is a level 1 out of 5 risk, which is a little bit more than marginal. And we're still under this heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight. Right now, we got 96 degrees over at BNA with the heat index reading of 106. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, newly released records provide disturbing details about a fatal dog attack that claimed the life of a Portland infant in April. News 2 says police say an officer responding to the home on April 20th found evidence of severe injuries before encountering the mother holding what appeared to be a decapitated baby. The victim was later identified as Evelyn Templeton. Authorities say the autopsy classified the death as accidental. The case has now been closed. Officers put the dog down at the scene. Then there's this in South Nashville. Channel 4's Sarah Allen reports on a 2-year-old who drowned in a backyard pool.
Metro Police say 2-year-old Viomara Laura Ortiz and her father were planning to swim around 6 p.m. in their backyard pool Monday. When the father was changing, Viomara ran off and he began searching for her. After several minutes, he found her in the pool, unresponsive. Police say, according to camera footage, Viomara was in the water for about 8 minutes before she was found by her father. He performed CPR on her and then rushed her to a fire station nearby. She later died at Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital.
So this happened on Sadler Avenue. The detectives are investigating. Authorities have described the drowning as an apparent accident. 2 people are dead in what Murfreesboro police say was a murder-suicide at the Saddlebrook Apartments overnight. This is about a mile away from MTSU. This man telling Channel 4.
My girlfriend woke me up about 1:43-ish, somewhere around there. She heard 2 gunshots go off. Called the cops. Police cars came. All I can hear is just the woman just yelling, screaming. She was saying, like, help, he shot him.
Yeah, detectives have determined that the 2 men knew each other. They believe the shooting was an isolated incident. Criminal Investigations Division continues to work to determine exactly what led to the deaths. Election 2026, Republican gubernatorial candidate John Rose telling WTN's Chris Hand Show he's not going to debate unless Marsha Blackburn does. And that is even if it would benefit him without Blackburn's participation.
Perhaps so. And our polling data tells us, incidentally, that, I'm the second choice of the vast majority of Tennesseans who may have chosen for one reason or another to support one of the other candidates. But I think at the end of the day, if you're going to have a debate, you need to have all of the voices at the table and Tennesseans. And so if we did that, then clearly we'd be letting her off the hook.
So reports say Rose has campaigned in all 95 counties. He's held more than 45 in-person town halls, participated in numerous candidate forums, and has done dozens of interviews with reporters. And in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear demanding Senator Mitch McConnell publicly prove he's capable of serving in office or resign. Governor Beshear urging Senate Majority Leader John Thune to investigate McConnell's condition if he does not address Kentuckians directly. McConnell's office says he's recovering from a fall and undergoing rehabilitation. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Rivergate got an injury wreck, Gallatin Pike north of Rivergate Parkway. Metro Center, 65 northbound before Rosa Parks Boulevard. In Bordeaux, injury accident, Buena Vista Pike at Clarksville Pike. Bellmead, a crash, Harding Pike near Hillwood Boulevard, Linwood Trace. Whites Creek, a crash, on-ramp, partially blocked. 24 westbound on-ramp from Old Hickory Boulevard north. Germantown, a crash. Rosa Parks, south of Jefferson Street. White Bridge, a crash. White Bridge Pike, south of Charlotte Pike. And then Tucker's Crossroads in Wilson County got a crash. 40 eastbound at Linwood Road. Forest Hills, Williamson County, a crash. Hillsborough Pike at Old Hickory Boulevard. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I promise you, Jason will get you headphones should you need them. Sorry, I'm just speaking to our guest there. Hey, Jackson Williams is behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He's gathering headlines and delivering them twice an hour and when it breaks. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is hour number 2 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Before I get to my next guest, I want to clean up. Brent's been holding for a minute to talk Marsha Blackburn and the gubernatorial race. Now, I know that Jason will not necessarily be able to comment on individual candidates because he is chairman of the Republican Party of Murray County. He'll join us in just a moment to talk water, to talk politics, and just about everything else under the sun. Brent, you're first up, however. Hey, Brent, how are you?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great. Long-time listener. Appreciate your show.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you calling.
I asked you once before about Martha Blackburn. Is she supported undocumented immigrants about driving license for the state of Tennessee? You said you was going to try to find out anything. I just wondered if you did. And this ordeal about she got $100,000, that was given to her campaign, and I believe that she's being investigated. I believe it's from these data centers, and the county I'm from, they're getting ready to put up a bunch of them. I don't like data centers. I think they could be bad for us, but I don't know. I'm just a ordinary human. Don't know a whole lot.
Well, Mr. Brent, I could not find any information. There was something way back where there was a suggestion that individuals from other parts of the world who were legally in the United States of America would be able to access legal documentation to drive in the state of Tennessee. It was back in the mid to late 1990s. I did not find any Marsha Blackburn affiliation with that. And I've not found anything during her time as a U.S. House of Representatives member or as a United States Senator that would indicate that she was in any way in favor of offering driver's licenses to illegal aliens, certainly. Now, if you are legally in the United States of America and can speak English, then you have that's a different deal. Kind of, you got an avenue for securing a driver's license. As far as the other thing goes, do you mind me asking you, Mr. Brent, which county you're from?
It's Coffee.
Coffee? And you say that they are considering a few data centers over there?
Oh, yeah. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I guess it's all about money.
Well, I mean, it's all. I mean, they have a purpose too, and you know, like anything else, you know, I look at a data center like I look at a bottle of good whiskey, Mr. Brent.
We've got Jack Daniels.
All right, so Brent, I think you'll understand my analogy here that a bottle of Gentleman Jack in the right hands can be a good thing, and in the wrong hands it can lead to tragedy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, exactly.
And data centers are kind of the same way. That used smartly, wisely, and correctly, they are a necessity in modern life. But if we allow them to run roughshod over the liberties of individual people, then we're going to be paying more for electricity, paying more for water. So we got to monitor that, and we got to put some safeguards in place to make sure they don't do that.
Well, I heard that they said they're going to supply their own. They're not going to raise their rates on electricity. They'll have to supply their own needs.
Yeah, I think yes, sir.
That's a good thing.
Yes, sir. That sure is. But I hope that answers your question about Marsha Black. But I could not find anything, and if anybody else can, give us a call at 615-737-9986 or hit us up on the super text line. Jason Gillum is our guest this hour of the show. Proud to have him from down in Murray County. I understand that I'm focused on Murray County a little more now that I live there, but this is important not just for Murray County, but for all of Middle Tennessee. We're talking about the possibility of regionalizing decision-making regarding water in Middle Tennessee. Columbia Power and Water had a big push for water intake, and what is Jason correctly described as a water intake as opposed to is it a treatment? Gosh, now I forget what you're saying. It's not a wastewater facility. Jason Gillum joins us on the show. He's going to correct all of this. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Matt, thanks for having me on today.
It's always a pleasure, brother.
I always enjoy being here and look forward to talking about these issues. So what happened yesterday with the State Fund Board and the TDLA, which is the Tennessee Department of Labor, they basically passed a $75 million loan ask for CPWS. That is for a water treatment facility, not a wastewater facility. The city,
and I incorrectly said
well,
that.
And I just wanted to make sure that people knew that the wastewater facility in Columbia is owned by the city of Columbia. Now, CPWS utility is also a municipal utility that's owned by the city of Columbia, but their water treatment facility that they are expanding, that's not the wastewater treatment facility. It's just the drinking water facility from the intake.
Right. So it makes sense when you say it that way that the water treatment is when you're pulling it out before it gets to you, and wastewater is after we as households and businesses have done what we've done with it. When it goes back in, we've got to treat the water before it gets back in.
And I misspoke. It's the Tennessee Local Development Authority, the TLDA. I'm sorry, I said labor. I didn't mean to say that. It's Tennessee Local Development Authority is the body that we were speaking before yesterday about all of this loan ask that CPWS is out there trying to get.
Do most and by the way, I'm being told before we get back away from it, Coffee County has a 1-year moratorium on data centers, I'm being told. By a couple of our listeners. So
yeah, Murray County does as well.
Yeah. Oh, do they?
Yeah, just passed recently.
I want to ask you about that in a minute because I'm wondering if we're not. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, but maybe this is the wise decision to put the brakes on this. Perhaps we are swinging the pendulum a little far back the other way, but one way or the other. Did we need the water treatment facility, the $75 million? Is that universally agreed upon, or at least almost universally agreed upon that was a necessity?
Yes, it was. So, and the reason is there's a threshold, and it's 80 million gallons of water per day going through the treatment facility. When any utility reaches that, then they are required by law to go out and find ways to expand that facility. So, there wasn't a big problem with that. Now, one could argue that some of this was self-induced, but at any rate, we are where we are. The numbers are showing 93% plus, and unfortunately, it's expensive. It costs a lot of money, and it's going to cost those ratepayers. Now, I will say that just a year ago, there was an open records request that was submitted and answered, And there were only a handful of days in a 3-month period during what we call the peak season of the year when the most water is used that they were above 80%. But in this last 12 months, I guess they've even increased the threshold that they're at even more. So the $75 million that they were awarded yesterday in the SRF fund, which is a loan at 3.06% interest, could be arguably said that, yes, it was needed. But it's not just $75 million. That's the first portion of that. The total cost, the total loan ask is going to be $135 million. They got 75 yesterday. They're going to come back later to get the other $60 million from the state revolving fund. Now, all of that is separate from the WIFIA ask, and that's $316 million.
WIFIA, that sounds fancy. What does that stand for?
So that's a...
Is that the new intake?
Yes, the WIFIA loan is a federal loan.
Okay,
and it is it's a water infrastructure loan is what it is that's provided by the federal government, and so it's Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act is what that is, WIFIA. And so at any rate, $316 million is what they wanted in that. That was delayed yesterday. That was the second month in a row that was delayed. And I am glad it's delayed, because my argument has always been that it's an exorbitant amount of money to spend for such a small amount of water. We're only talking about a 12 million gallon per day increase in the water. And so the total cost of this project is over $500 million. That's the loan. Mm-hmm. That does not include the interest that's going to have to be paid on this. So we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of around $900 million for 12 million gallons of water a day. It's exorbitantly expensive for very little gain, and there's other options out there that we could use to bring just as much water in at a tenth of the cost. And, one of the things that was said in the state fund board meeting yesterday that I disagree with completely, and it was said by several members, and I find it kind of ironic how people, when somebody has a title, people just automatically, when they say something, that's fact. That's just the way it is. And people don't take the time to really dive into it and understand. And there were a lot of things said yesterday in that meeting that were just simply not correct. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. But one of the things that was said was that this intake that they're building is going to be a 50-year solution. These people will be lucky. We in Murray County will be lucky if we can make this thing last 15 years.
Let me reset. So the current intake level is what is the amount? The
20 million gallons a day in the current intake. It's located just off Riverside Drive in the Duck River.
And so this would give us another 12 million.
12 million on top of that for a total of 32 million gallons of water per day.
And they're calling, and there were people yesterday calling it a 50-year solution?
Yes.
It doesn't feel right.
Yeah. And here's the thing. And this is why the people of Murray County are up against a machine. And there's very few people fighting against it. And everybody needs to be raising all kinds of cane about what's happening to them, what's being done to them. And look, the Duck River Agency, they get 5 cents per 1,000 gallons of water from every utility that pulls water from the Duck River, and they've done that since 1976. The Duck River Agency was one of the 3 groups, if you will, that spoke in favor of the Columbia Power and Water System project yesterday. I was the only person there that spoke against it. So, it's really a shame that
so an agency that's getting paid per gallon that gets pulled out of the Duck River spoke in favor of more gallons being pulled out of the Duck River. Imagine that.
That's what I'm saying.
What is the Duck River Agency?
So the Duck River Agency was formed in 1976, and the reason they were formed were to be the management agency of the river because of the 2 dams that were going to be built on the river, and that's Normandy Dam and the Columbia Dam. Of course, we all know the story with the Columbia Dam and how it was, 98% complete the dam itself was, and they stopped the project. A federal judge stopped the project because of environmental concerns that turned out to be just absolutely, made up.
Got to take care of that snail darter.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about those mussels too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we could go into that, whatever. But at any rate, those 2 dams were going to be built on the river. The Duck River Agency was the management agency that was going to oversee the river. They were formed in 1976. And as I said, they've been getting 5 cents per 1,000 gallons of water from every utility that's been drawing water out of that river since that time.
50 years.
Millions of dollars they've gotten, okay? And so they are in support of the Columbia Power and Water System project. Ironically, CPWS is their largest customer. They pull more gallons from that river than anybody. And so here you are. I don't care how you paint it. You can say whatever you want to say, but look, they have a bias, absolute bias, and it's dollar signs, right?
What? So help me out. I'm just a country boy from Georgia. The Duck River Agency is a government agency? Is it a?
It is now. At one time it was not, but now it's been pulled in to the state, and so it's a shame to me to see what's being done.
What is its mission statement? To protect the Duck River? I mean,
they manage the river. I'd have to look it up to tell you exactly what their mission statement is.
All right, but obviously, if they're going to receive, I mean that should be on the table. Any organization that's going to benefit through more monetary intake because of more water coming out of the Duck River, we need to know that. I mean, and we can listen to their comments from then on, and we can judge their comments based on our knowledge that they're going to make more money if more money's drawn out of the Duck River, right?
Right, absolutely. And it's and people need to know this kind of thing. But there's even more than this going on, right? I mean, you have TDEC, all right? Everybody's familiar with TDEC, all right? So the chairman of TDEC sits on the Duck River Watershed Planning Partnership, the commissioner of TDEC, the commissioner of TDEC sits on the Duck River Watershed Planning Partnership as the chair. Okay, TDEC permitted the CPWS intake years ago. Okay, they permitted saying, yes, so they wrote the permit that says, hey, you guys can have this intake, and now you have the commissioner who sits as the chair of the Duck River Watershed Planning Partnership who are making the decision on what they think they should determine is the best idea for a regional solution for the Duck River. And this solution that they're pushing, and they said it in the meeting yesterday, oh, well, it looks like that this is probably going to be what we're going to support is the Columbia Power and Water System intake. They have skin in the game. And I'll say this too, the assistant director of TDEC, very nice person, very close friends with Chaz Mulder, the mayor of Columbia, for the city who owns Columbia Power and Water System.
Right, a mayor who was pushing this vote through in Columbia, then eventually voted against it because he wanted to protect himself because he's running for Congress.
Absolutely. And please, I'm not saying they're bad people, but their relationships matter, right? And you can't tell me that does not affect the decision-making that's going on to push this project, and it's going to hurt and harm 120-plus thousand people in Murray County because they can't get out of their own way. They're like a mule that's got their blinders on and they're plowing a row in a field, right? All they see is what's right in front of them, and to them, it's that intake. There's nothing on the periphery. They are dead set on doing this regardless of whether it's smart or not.
Jason Gillum, our guest. So, Jason, I was hopeful yesterday when I had Dustin Kittle on. Dustin does a great job for what it's worth. I mean, he's a good environmental lawyer over there. And he sees other solutions. I know you see other solutions. I was hopeful yesterday, but now I'm not so hopeful anymore. You seem concerned, and I want to clarify right after the break. You seem concerned that there might be a decision that includes the borrowing of this money and the building of this intake. 25 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back after this. Grace Point Healthcare is affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine delivered in the old-fashioned way. Right there in Franklin, I've got a telephone number for you. 599-6868 is the number. Don't fear. I'll give that to you again. 599-6868. 6868. Grace Point wants you to know that you can get in quickly if you're feeling under the weather, if you don't know where to go, if you're frustrated with your primary care physician because you can never get in when you're actually sick, or you have to wait long lengths of time once you actually get to the doctor's office. If you're frustrated with the cost of your doctor's visit, even with insurance, well, you need to get to Grace Point Healthcare. They are a direct pay facility, meaning you pay Grace Point, you file with your insurance company for reimbursement after the fact. But the bottom line is this: they keep their price point down because they're very upfront about what their treatments are costing you. And with the Smart Care plan, you don't pay an additional thing for regular office visits. You pay $99 a month through your HSA plan, $79 for the kids, and you go unlimited office visits throughout the course of the year, plus free basic labs and diagnostics. That's what it's all about. They treat newborns to seniors right in the heart of Franklin. So many people have made the switch, and I hope you do too, to Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Call them at 599-6868.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee under at least a marginal risk of severe weather tonight. It is a higher risk, that is, east of 65. It's a level 1 out of 5 risk. Still got the heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight. Right now it's 96 degrees at the airport, but the heat index makes it feel like 106. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, a wrong-way driver facing DUI and other charges for a crash on I-40 Saturday night is being held on an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detainer. Investigators say 38-year-old Timoteo Trujillo Diaz was driving the wrong direction near Stewart's Ferry Pike when his Honda CRV hit a Buick head-on. 7 people hurt, including a state trooper and 2 children, ages 2 and 7. Trujillo Diaz is charged with DUI, vehicular assault, and reckless endangerment as the investigation continues. Part of that interstate was closed for 6 hours. Also in Nashville, police drones take flight, but privacy questions remain. News Channel 5 says the Metro Nashville Community Review Board received an update today on the police, actually yesterday, that is, on the police department's drone as first responder program. 3 drones based at the Madison precinct can be deployed to 911 calls within a 2-mile radius and provide live video to responding officers. Well, police say the drones helped officers recently arrest 2 robbery suspects. The program will continue until MNPD completes 45 flight days, with 18 completed so far. Community advocates, meanwhile, continue to raise concerns about privacy, surveillance, and transparency. And election 2026, Republican gubernatorial candidate John Rose on WTN's Chris Hand Show this morning, appealing to Monty Fritz supporters.
You know, I have a chance of beating Senator Blackburn. I believe we'll beat her. And for the Fritz voters out there, Monty Fritz is a good guy, but he can't win. And so, I mean, you may not believe that, but I sure would hate for you to wake up on Thursday after Election Day or Friday after Election Day and realize that you elected the wrong person as governor because you cast a vote for someone who couldn't get to where they needed to win.
Tennessean says polls show the Republican governor's primary is tightened into the 15 to 31 point range with Blackburn in the lead. That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, Metro Center got a crash 65 northbound before Rosa Parks Boulevard. In Hendersonville, we've got a crash that is blocking 2 lanes. That's Vietnam veterans between Gallatin Pike and New Shackle Island Road. Traffic is getting by on the right shoulder there. It is really backing up. Whites Creek, a crash. On-ramp partially blocked. 24 westbound on-ramp from Old Hickory Boulevard. BNA, a crash. 40 eastbound past to Briley Parkway East. Tusculum, Nolensville Pike, north of Old Hickory Boulevard. Tucker's Crossroad in Wilson County got a crash 40 eastbound there at Linwood Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Simply put, the finest mind that I've ever met in the health insurance industry is right here in Brentwood, Tennessee. His name is Shane Ring, and he operates Cover Nash. If you're tired of health insurance that feels like a mathematics exam, confusing percentages, surprise bills, fine print that bites back, let's make it real simple for you. Call Shane Ring at Cover Nash. They've got programs available for you where they are clear, they are upfront, they don't surprise you with any fine print or any hidden bills, and they make sense. They give you the coverage that you need at the price that you deserve. That's what it's all about for Shane Ring and Cover Nash. He does not work for any insurance company. He works for you. Friends, anybody telling you that you have to wait for open enrollment, Shane says call him, because these folks don't know what they're doing and they don't know what they're talking about. You don't have to necessarily wait. Now, there are things that you have to do to work around it, and Shane understands those things. If you're tired of paying too much, if you're uninsured, or if you're self-employed, you owe yourself a telephone call to Shane Ring and Cover Nash. 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at covernash.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Thank you for being with us. If you have any questions or thoughts for Jason Gillum, he's our guest. He is a bit of an expert, and obviously he testified or spoke at least before this hearing. What was remind me of the organization again? It's the lending authority from the state,
yeah,
right?
So there's two asks that they're looking for, right? The State Revolving Fund Board is one. The SRF is what that is. And then you have the TLDA, and that's the Tennessee Local Development Authority. And so that body is the determining factor for people who are looking for utilities that are looking for loans to go out and expand their systems or build new systems, whatever. And so what they were trying to do yesterday, they wanted $75 million, for the expansion of the water treatment facility. Okay. That's the first part of the ask. There's going to be $60 million more later. That. Okay. And then they wanted permission from the Tennessee Local Development Authority to go out to WIFIA for a federal loan, which is going to be $316 million. And so, as I said earlier, the SRF fund was granted $75 million, but the $316 million was delayed again.
What happens if public opinion rises up and prevents the additional money from being borrowed from the state? Is Columbia? Is the city of Columbia going to continue to charge the rates that they're currently charging?
Absolutely, because Chaz Mulder said it yesterday in the meeting. He said this to our comptroller. Well, it doesn't matter if you pass or not. We're going to go do it anyway. We'll just go do it on ourselves, and you're going to cost us $50 more million because we're going to go to the open bond market, and we're going to get a higher interest rate, so it's going to cost more money. But whether you pass or not, we're doing it.
What is the benefit of acting like that?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think there's any benefit to it.
It's certainly no benefit to the ratepayers, obviously. You're not thinking at all about the ratepayers if you're thinking that
absolutely, way. Absolutely. And so, you can direct it into, they want to control the water. Mm-hmm. They want to have the ability to sell that water. They want to get every drop they can. And it's not about the ratepayer. It's about how much money they can make. Listen, Vena Jones said yesterday, and she works for the state. I think that CPWS they made $21 million last year. $21 million. Okay. So that's a pretty hefty sum of money, right? And I think it's atrocious that here they are, continuing to try to throw this on the ratepayers. And this is not something that's just going to be, the next couple of months or a year or so. We're talking the next 30 years.
Wait, you just said something, and I want to remind people of the significance of something that Jason just said. Chaz Mulder is the mayor of Columbia.
Yes.
Chaz Mulder voted on this rate increase in the city of Columbia, when the city of Columbia, on the Columbia Power and Water situation, when they approved the rate increase, right?
Well,
he voted on it, is what I'm saying.
He voted no then.
Right. He voted against. So he advocated for it. Everyone that's been a part of this discussion before this vote was taken knew that Chaz Mulder was in favor of this.
Yes.
I just want everybody to understand what's going on here. This is the nastiest politics that you can imagine. He advocated for it. He pushed for it. He convinced people to vote for it. He twisted arms for it. Then when he realized he had enough votes to get it passed, he publicly voted against it so he wouldn't have to answer to people while he ran for the 5th Congressional District seat that Andy Ogles currently holds. So he did that. So now he's publicly apparently against it because he voted against it. Yet he went to this meeting yesterday and advocated for something that he just voted against.
Absolutely, 100%. He said yesterday, we've got to have it. We've got to have it now. We can't wait. We need to pass this today. That was what he said. We need to pass this today. And folks, that is absolutely not true. We are not in a situation right now where we are out of water in Murray County. We have enough time to find alternate solutions. But here's the thing. And I want people to know this. It was said in this meeting yesterday that this is the only project, the Columbia Power and Water System project is the only project that's on the table and can be done in the next 5 years. That is an absolute, outright, 100% lie.
Tell me the other projects.
Well, for one, there's collaborative efforts going on and talks right now. Meetings have been happening over the last year about utilities in neighboring counties and in our Murray County water system getting together. Look, Mount Pleasant is already on the way to building their expansion in their water treatment facility, right? That's not something that's 5 years away. That's something that's going to be done in the next couple of years. They're going to have it. I mean, it won't even be taking that long. But they have water available. We can connect our systems. There's Marshall County. Marshall County has a new water treatment facility that's being built right now. Okay? We've been talking to them about bringing that water in. The point to what I'm saying is collaborative efforts between the water systems can bring water into our county right now. We have a 3 million gallon per day pipeline with HB&TS that's getting ready to come online in September. That's 3 million more gallons of water a day. You know how much that water costs the people? $7 million. $7 million bucks. Why? Because we looked for an affordable solution. We got grant money that paid for half of that project. I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting in this chair, we could provide about 9 million gallons a day with no problem for $50 million in just a few years.
And then you didn't even bring up, I mean, the Normandy Dam, the increase on the Normandy Dam is out there.
Absolutely.
And I've heard that it was a 5 foot increase
talking
on the
about
dam.
raising it, 5 to 8 feet is what was said in the partnership,
And if you clean out the lawsuits, you could accomplish that in a relatively short amount of time.
Absolutely.
Without the lawsuits. But sadly, there are enough people who are butthurt over the aspect of that happening that they would. I mean, we've already been told that there would be lawsuits and whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, there are options on the table. Not to mention, I mean, obviously, you and I got to know one another with you talking about a long-term solution that you advocated for regarding the Columbia Dam.
Right, and that's a project that would take longer, but the end result would be cheaper water and an actual long-term solution. But, even though people, they say, oh, Jason, he's that dam guy, he just wants the dam, that is absolutely not true. I am a lifelong resident of Murray County. I have friends, I have neighbors, I have family. I love our community. I love where I grew up. I want to advocate for and take care of our people. I don't care if you've been there for 50 years or you've been there for 5. You're in Murray County, right? You're a neighbor. And we cannot allow these governmental agencies to come in and do things like this. It's ironic to me. I'm from the government. I'm here to help, right? Right. And people are actually believing what they're putting out.
Do you believe that all of this, I mean, I looked at the delay as a positive, obviously.
Right.
That, cooler heads will prevail and that you'll get some reasonable people up there to talk about some lower cost solutions that will not burden the taxpayers. And more importantly, burden taxpayers who have zero say at the ballot box, right?
And that's a big part of this.
I mean, it's a huge part of it for me. If this just involved Columbia, then I would say to the people of Columbia, hey, guys, y'all can go and y'all can vote these bums out and get better bums in.
Right.
Well, it involves unincorporated Murray County. It involves other communities. It's a regional situation, which is why we're talking about it on this radio station, is because it affects a lot of people, not just in Columbia or even in Murray County.
Absolutely, it does. 120,000+ people are affected by this, and 7 people on the city council. Okay, well, let me say this: there is one person on our city council that is fighting this with everything they have because he believes that it is absolutely horrific and wrong, and that is Charlie Huffman. He is one of our city council members. He is the only one that's voted against this, and he stands against it today. But the others, they all voted for this. People that can't even elect those individuals have no say whatsoever, and now their water rates are being increased because of their decision in the Columbia City Council.
So let's put it to bed. What can we do about it? What should we take away from this conversation?
Well, look, people need to get involved. They need to be calling our state. They need to be calling everybody that's involved in this decision-making process.
You need to call your representative, obviously, from the General Assembly.
I was just getting to say, call Representative Sapicki, call Representative Capley. I sent a letter to the state fund board both June and in July. The letter I sent in June, it had 6 of our legislators on it and that signed onto it. Senator Joey Hensley, Representative Scott Sapicki, Representative Kip Capley, Representative Warner, Representative Clay Doggett, who, he's in the county to the south. He represents them. That's Giles County. Representative Chris Todd. I had state executive committee members that signed that letter. Look, the point is, we cannot allow these people to do this to us. And if more people will get involved, stand against it, call your representatives, call Columbia, call the city of Columbia. They're the ones that initiated this.
What happens? Would they be forced? I would think that there would be a forced rollback on some of these rates if this doesn't go through, right?
Yes.
They can't possibly keep these rates where they are if this project doesn't move forward.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Well, there you go. That's the bottom line is we've got to stop this product to get your rates, the project that is unnecessary.
Well,
there are other options available.
And the big issue, Matt, one of the problems we have is the Duck River Watershed Planning Partnership, the agency that was formed by Governor Lee in November of 2024 to find another solution is what should be regionality. We should be talking about a regional process, right?
Yes.
Because you have the scale, right? The economy of scale. The more people you have paying into something, the cheaper it is for everybody. And if you had a regional authority where we had multiple water systems coming together to provide water, it would save us all money, all right? But they're not looking at a regional solution. They're looking at Columbia Power and Water System, one utility on the Duck River.
Yeah, they want to be the big dog.
And they want to be the big dog. And it's going to cost us all more than you can imagine.
But while I have you here, I want to ask you, I want you to shift hats and put on your chairman of the Murray County Republican Party hat for just a second, because I've gotten a lot of reaction to this, and several people, even as you sit here today, knowing that you're the chairman of the Republican Party in Murray County. No, I'm not going to ask you about the primaries because I know you can't talk about those. But is there good participation? You feel like a lot of people are very invested in August 6th?
I have not been pleased with the early voting turnout.
Really?
I haven't. I don't think the numbers are where they should be. We're talking, I think as of Saturday, the close of Saturday, and I haven't updated my numbers, there was maybe 3,800, 4,000 Republican votes cast, and then another maybe 1,800 or so
in Murray County?
Democrat votes. Yeah, because, the early voting, Spring Hill was only open for 3 days. You could only early vote there 3 days. The rest, you have to go to the Election Commission on Tradewinds Avenue there, or Tradewinds Drive, and that's where you vote. So there just hasn't been a huge number of participants. I hope we're going to end up getting more, but for the
many, off the top of your head, roughly the number of registered voters?
65,000.
So you got 65,000 registered voters, and we got 38 and would you say 18?
About 18, and I'm kind of spitballing there, if you will.
Okay, so well less than. That's well under 10%.
Oh, yeah,
well
right.
under 10%.
Right. And I've said all along, if we get after the close of on August 6th, which the election day, that's Thursday, August 6th, the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If we come out of that and we have more than 18% participation, I'd be surprised.
It's a fascinating thing that 18% of the population, at least in Murray County, if I use your numbers, are going to select the governor.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Y'all think about this now. The vote for governor is happening Thursday. Let's make no mistake.
Right.
Jerry Green is not beating any of these Republican candidates in the general election. And the idea that 18% or less of our population, let's say it's 18%, less than 20% of the registered voting population is going to select the next governor, and not to mention all the other candidates on the ballot. It's frustrating.
Oh, I'm telling you. Well, look, and I'm not trying to call anybody out here. I won't even say his name. But you look at the city of Spring Hill and how big that city is. How many people live there? 1,800 people elected the mayor in Spring Hill. 1,800.
Wow. So that's not a lot of people.
No, it's not. And it's terrible. And people aren't involved, and they say their vote doesn't matter. I said it on a radio show this morning that I was on. Every single vote matters. I know we hear about nationally how there's voter fraud and you can't trust the voting machines and all of these other things. But, folks, I'm here to tell you, here locally, in our state, in Tennessee, and in our counties, we have fair elections. The fraud is not here. I'm not saying it's not in other places. I would guarantee it is. But we have it here, and you need to vote. Every single vote matters, especially in local elections. It is extremely important.
Well, and regardless when you vote, and I understand some people are just against early voting. I am philosophically against early voting, but I want good people to get to the polls when they can get there and get their votes cast. If you're voting on Election Day, do that. But sadly, the same people, a lot of times, the folks that are saying no early voting, then you go to Election Day and you see less than 20%, and you're like, well, what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we spend the next 4 years complaining about the fruit or the lack thereof of the labor, and it's just a frustrating aspect of this. Several people have asked me this, and I've only got like 30 seconds.
Okay.
What control does the Republican Party of Maury County have over the young Republicans in Maury County? There's no affiliation there, right?
There's not.
Okay,
There's
and
not.
I just want I want to clarify that. And it's your information that the Young Republican Club kind of shuttered. It went.
It did.
Dormant.
It fell below 10,
several years ago.
Yeah, it fell below 10 members, and when that happens, then you can't have a young Republican organization.
This dude that we interviewed on the show that's running around claiming that he's the president and all of these types of things. He's been elected by nobody.
Right.
There's no affiliation.
No.
I just want to make sure that we say that publicly.
And I appreciate that because there is none. As a matter of fact, I escorted him out of the meeting that he showed up to when he said all those things. I called the sheriff. We got him out of there. Yeah. We denounced it the next day. I mean, we went out publicly. This guy, he's a loose cannon. He's out there on his own. And listen, man, I'm praying for the guy because he's confused.
Yeah, he's got a lot of weird ideas in his head, at least based on the interview that we had with him. Jason, it's always just a fountain of information when you're in. I so appreciate you stopping by and
I appreciate it.
Offering your thoughts on this Columbia Power and Water situation. And thank you for everything you do for Maury County.
Well, thank you.
There's Jason Gillum. He is the chairman of the Republican Party in Maury County. We'll be back in a moment, 55 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Beckman Dry Eye Institute. Do you suffer in silence with dry eyes, irritated eyes? You're not alone, friends. 1 in 8 Americans suffer with dry eyes, and that number is growing by the day. And maybe you just think, oh, well, it's just the allergies, Murphy, or this is just the way that it is. It's genetics, whatever your thought process might be. I want to disabuse you of that notion right now, and I want to introduce you to Dr. Catherine Beckman and the Beckman Dry Eye Institute. We are finding out more and more what causes these dry eyes. And friends, Dr. Catherine is your go-to resource. She is an expert in this field, has been for over 30 years, and she's just opened a brand new clinic that we want to tell you about in Cool Springs. Dr. Beckman's clinic focuses solely on patients with dry eyes. It's called ocular surface disease. She sees patients every day that have damaged the front of their eyes due to the improper blinking function or damaged the glands that produce tears. One way or the other, if you have dry eyes, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family to call the Beckman Dry Eye Institute. She can help. She doesn't do contacts. She doesn't do glasses. She doesn't do annual eye exams. This is what she focuses on, and she's great at her job. 629-239, I should say, 3161. Let's do it again. 629-239-3161 or online at BeckmanDryEyeInstitute.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everybody in Middle Tennessee looking at least a marginal risk of severe weather tonight. Everyone east of 65, it'll be a level 1 out of 5, so a little bit higher risk. Right now, we're under the heat advisory till 8 o'clock. It is 93 degrees at the airport. Heat index makes it feel like 105. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, a wrong-way driver is on a federal ICE detainer after a crash Saturday night. The Tennessee Highway Patrol says a Honda CRV driven by 38-year-old Timoteo Trujillo Diaz struck a Buick Encore head-on at Stewart's Ferry Pike. 7 people were injured, including 2 children and a state trooper who was responding to another wreck. Trujillo Diaz now faces 9 charges, including DUI and 4 counts of vehicular assault. Murfreesboro police say there was a murder-suicide at the Saddlebrook Apartments about a mile away from MTSU overnight. This man telling Channel 4.
My girlfriend woke me up about 1:43-ish, somewhere around there. She heard 2 gunshots go off, called the cops. Police cars came. All I can hear is just the woman just yelling, screaming. She was saying, like, help, he shot him.
Police say one man shot and killed another man before turning the gun on himself. Authorities have not released a motive. It's been a tragic week in Nashville. Yesterday, a toddler drowned in a backyard pool. Channel 4's Sarah Allen reports it happened on Sadler Avenue.
Metro Police say 2-year-old Viomara Laura Ortiz and her father were planning to swim around 6 p.m. in their backyard pool Monday. When the father was changing, Viomara ran off and he began searching for her. After several minutes, he found her in the pool, unresponsive. Police say, according to camera footage, Viomara was in the water for about 8 minutes before she was found by her father. He performed CPR on her and then rushed her to a fire station nearby. She later died at Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital.
Police say it was accidental, but the Youth Services Division is investigating. And former campers and people who live near the YMCA camp in Antioch still trying to process the death of a 15-year-old boy who was crushed by a fallen tree yesterday during a group hike.
Well, we were just kind of shocked and surprised because nothing very bad ever happens over there. It's a very nice, peaceful place, and the kids are well behaved, and they run the place nicely. And so we were kind of shocked to hear that.
Channel 4 says 15-year-old Camden Robert Callahan of Virginia was fatally injured when that tree fell along the trail. According to investigators, the tree had already been leaning when it was touched by another camper. Metro Nashville police have ruled the teen's death an accident. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes over on the East Bank going eastbound right there at Shelby Avenue. Got one on the south side, 40 eastbound at Fessler's Lane. Still have the left lane blocked in Hendersonville, Vietnam Veterans Boulevard eastbound between Gallatin Pike and New Shackle Island. Rivergate, an injury wreck, Gallatin Pike North, just north of Rivergate Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, kids. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show just after 5 p.m., 5:08 to be precise. What's going on, everyone? Hope you all are doing good. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living, delivers them twice an hour or when it breaks. He also participates in a little thing we do this hour called Nincompoops in the News, as does Jackson Williams. I was we did not announce this. Jackson, I don't ask much of you. I don't feel like I ask much of you, but I beg of you to beat me about the head and shoulders until I remember to announce the winner on a daily basis of Nincompoops in the News. People get mad at me when I don't.
You can't handle the truth.
Fair. Here is the truth. Matt Murphy won yesterday. How about that?
I don't think that's correct.
I won with Zoran Mondani as the Nincompoop of the day for his, you can go count him up, buddy boy. You just don't like it when Jackson comes out a little behind the eight ball this early on in the week. How about that? Yeah, we're coming for you. We're gunning for you, buddy. And I got a good one today as well. So just can't wait for Nincompoops in the News. Your telephone call's on the way. Speaking of Zoran Mamdani, I've got a couple of other things to say about why socialist grocery stores simply won't work. Most of you learned this in grade school. Maybe you learned this in general business, basic economics. But Zoran Mondani and some of our liberal friends don't seem to understand it. We're going to get into that momentarily on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. In the meantime, there was a ceremony in Washington, D.C. today for former Senator Lindsey Graham, who passed away at the age of 71. That pomp and ceremony and circumstance going on, or that ceremony. I'm not trying to belittle it or diminish it. I just the length of time and the pomp and circumstance that goes into a ceremony like that is what I was trying to say is available for you. At least I think it's already wound down at this point in time. That has been going on in D.C., took up a lot of attention on the major media news networks. Other stories that we are following obviously involve the gubernatorial election. That is sad news. You know, speaking with Jason Gillum, the idea that in Murray County, which I believe is a pretty participatory county, that less than 20% of the voters will go to the polls and make these decisions. I mean, what kind of voting participation are we thinking about here? If you don't go out and vote, you have no reason to complain. I hope that most of us go and vote. I mean, I feel like I am preaching to the choir, the proverbial choir, when I beg of you to go and vote. But I beg of you to tell your friends and neighbors that don't listen to the Matt Murphy Show or Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We are one of the more powerful voices, if I do say so myself, in Middle Tennessee politics. And yet, at our best, we've got 20% of the potential individuals that could listening at our best, at our very best. It goes to show you the number of people that, I mean, look, I understand people have busy lives. I understand that people have things going on. You've got families to feed. You've got a business to run, or you've got work to get done, whatever it might be. But my goodness gracious, apathy will destroy this country more than any foreign invasion, quicker than any foreign invasion. And we're experiencing it right now if we're expecting less than 20% turnout in a gubernatorial election year. Shameful. 11 after the hour, 615-737-9986. Boyd has been holding for some time. Hello, Boyd.
Well, hello, my brother.
What's up?
Not much. I've talked to you quite a few times, and you've always been a very kind voice to hear.
Well, I try to do my best, Boyd. Thank you for calling in. How you doing?
Been better, been worse.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm a 62-year-old man that's went through 3 colonoscopies lately, and they took out 6 inches of my colon, and I was bleeding 1 pint of blood a day. I went to Mara Regional, and wow, those people are wonderful. They fixed my problem, but then I've had abdominal pain since then, and sorry to say, I'm 62, turned 62 in January, and I'm incontinent. I hope I could say that on air. You know?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, that's
not a pleasant thing to go through, you know. And I just
Boyd, is that may I ask you I mean, you brought up the personal. I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'll be able to overcome through time, or is that just something that you have to live with?
I've got to live with it.
Well, God bless you, buddy. God bless.
The only thing that I live in an RV in the middle of a cow pasture with a 110 extension cord coming here, and I got a fan, and I lived through that for the past 4 years, and plus I've the last 3 years, ants have invaded my RV, so I have to fight ants every night. I have to fight about 2 or 3 dozen ants every night because I guess when I actually try to go to sleep, they try to eat me, you know. And
oh Lord,
yeah. I can take pictures, you know. I can take videos.
Oh man,
they really attack me, you know, and.
Boy, that's awful.
If I was a woman, they would take it. The only reason people won't help me is because I have a dog I've had for 14 years, and I won't leave her behind. I won't give her up for nothing.
I understand that. I can identify with that, brother. That makes sense to me. Well, what?
Love her more than anything, brother.
Well, but, God bless you, man. I'm praying for you, man.
I promised myself I wouldn't tear her up or anything, but I just don't want to lose my dog. You know what I mean? She's the most precious thing in my life.
What's your dog's name?
Sissy.
Sissy. Well, you got to protect Sissy. I get that.
She looks like a big beagle, and that's the reason I'm on Social Security now, but nobody will let me in any kind of place that, will, apartment, anything like that, because she has to be 30 pounds or less, and I'm just not going to give up my dog for nobody or nothing, and that's what's got me in the situation I'm in now. But I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. Believe me, I'm tough as nails. But if you put enough fire on the nails, they start to melt, and they take, and it's a little hard to get through it, you know. But you know what?
What kind of ants are we dealing with over there? My grandmother had a battle all her life with ants.
Fire ants.
Fire ants?
Yeah, they're vicious. Yeah, they're vicious.
Oh, dude, we gotta figure that out now.
Yeah, they're vicious. And like I say, I just last night I got about 2 hours sleep because about every 10, 15 minutes I would wake up and I had about a dozen of them on me trying to
Boyd, we got any Boyd, I get it. We got any extra money for some fire ant prevention over there, or what?
I've did all the fire ants around my RV, and brothers, like I don't know, they've embedded themselves inside my RV, and I don't know what else to do, brother. Like I say, if I was a woman, I would get all kind of help, but since I turned 62 in January, so and I got a dog that nobody wants to accept. So
well, if you're in an RV, let me say this, but if you're in an RV, because I lived in the Grand Old RV Resort Convalescence Home and Bat Meat Market. You missed that one, Jackson, because you're not paying attention to the show, but whatever. I lived up there for 11 months, and I know from personal experience there's only so many ways they can be getting into your RV. Right?
Oh, brother, my RV is a 2001. They've got so many creeks and crevices they come in.
Okay.
I've tried starving them out,
well, good luck.
They just keep finding the ways to come in, and like I say, I'm not going to leave my dog. She's very special to me. And so I'm just going to have to deal with it, brother.
Yeah,
that's that's life now.
Well, there's a place in heaven for you, boy, and there's a place in heaven for that sissy of yours. I mean, I'm telling you, what can I do to help you, Boyd?
Well,
I mean,
if you could give me a job, I had a job, and so the squirrels and chipmunks got in my car, and I found out later they covered up my computer that was right there by my air filter, and so it would run for about 10 minutes, and then it would go dead, and I was 45 minutes away from work, so I lost a job I had for 4 years, and then I got another job at a lighting company in Pulaski, and they hired me, and my boss bragged on me. He says, wow, he says, you're over 60, and he said, you work harder and you do a better job than the guys in their 20s, and I'm like, well, I was just raised that way. I'm the last year of the baby boomers.
Are you internet active over there? Do you have like email or an ability to get on social media at all?
I live in a hollow, so I got to go up the hill at least to get a.
Well, if you do that, would you mind? I mean, this is a rather. I mean, no offense to you, Boyd, but it's a rather personal conversation, and I want to try to help you with your ant problem and anything else I can help you with. I just need you to hit me up on matt@murphyshow.com. Will you do that?
I will surely do that.
Hit me
I don't
up.
want nobody to feel sorry for me, man. I swear I don't. I mean, like I say, I just.
Okay. I mean, I don't take it that way, but I do. I'm hearing you. And I want to be able to chat with you offline a little bit. So just hit me up, matt@murphyshow.com, and get me your telephone number if you want.
Matt@murphyshow.com.
Yeah, do that, Boyd. Okay.
When would be a good time
Anytime.
to do that? I don't want to disturb you, brother. Really, I don't want to do anything.
Well, Boyd, it's Boyd, it's an email. So, I mean, obviously, you won't be disturbing me. I mean, I'll give you my telephone number if you want, but you hit me up on that email, leave me your telephone number, and I'll get back to you, and we'll talk. Okay?
MattMurphy.com.
Matt@Murphy Show. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna put Boyd on hold. Help him out there, and make sure that he got that number. Matt@murphyshow.com. You can give him my cell phone if you want to. I don't mind. We can help you out with some of this, Boyd, but that's more of an individual conversation rather than a group conversation, and I don't want to bore the group with an individual conversation. Jeff is wanting to talk about early voting. Jeff, thank you for the call. How are you? Hello, Jeffrey.
Hey, sorry about that, Matt. I had you muted.
It's all good, Jeff. What's up with you?
I got a opinion and a question for you. My opinion is that if they pass the SAVE Act, where everybody is got to show an ID, it shouldn't matter about early voting. You go in, show your ID, you vote, it's done. I've got boys that are in their 30s and, one in his 30s and 20-year-olds, and they're all wondering why they can't vote online. And these Republicans and Democrats are eating it up because the social media stuff, they're diving into it. I just went and voted today for Monty, and I voted for him because I'm tired of Burns and Rose saying that they're not going to vote for what the people want. They're going to veto it. I don't need a parent. I'm in my 60s.
The odd thing is, if that got to a constitutional amendment on the ballot, I don't know that they have an authority to veto it at that point as governor. Now, obviously, if something was passed by the legislative body, I would just note to Jeff, and I don't want to get off into the weeds here, but if a piece of marijuana legislation, which is what you're referring to, was voted on by the General Assembly of the state of Tennessee, and a Republican supermajority in both chambers of that body approved a marijuana piece, whether it's recreational or medical, and the governor vetoed it, it takes a simple majority to override that veto. It's the same vote that it takes to pass it to override the veto. So, this idea that the governor's position in the state of Tennessee is relatively weak with regard to their ability to override the will of the people or override the will of the General Assembly. But I would agree with you that in principle, one would think that if you're asking for the vote of the people, that if there was an overwhelming will for the people to have something happen in the state regarding whatever it might be, that governor would be, with the people as opposed to against the people on those measures.
That's their job.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody that has an opinion already baked into their brains. That's the problem with these politics. They have to evolve. These young kids are having a tough time, and they have to realize that. It's different. I'm in my early 60s, and I'm making it fine. But these young guys and gals, they're having a tough time. And when they have these parental, politicians that are going to tell them, like I seen where she had one from bell to bell, no cell. I seen that the other day on the TV, and I'm going, that's their world. Nobody is not on their cell phone, driving, communicating, doing business. That is a world we're in now. And you're going to throw our kids behind because you're not going to allow them. You want them to learn on.
Oh yeah, well, Jeff, you'll lose me on this. I'm a big proponent of getting rid of the cell phones in classrooms. It's ridiculous.
Sure, get rid of the cell phones. Go to tablet platforms. Go to stuff that is going to increase their.
No, we need to get back prior to fifth grade. We need to get back to book learning, in my opinion. But that's just me. Look, Jeff, as far as online voting goes, and I understand your kids are saying, like, what about online voting? I don't want to make it easier to vote in America. I just don't. I think there should be some skin in the game. I think, sadly, we've gotten to where we are, and thank you, Jeff, for the call. We've gotten to where we are in American politics because we make it too easy for people to vote themselves in politicians that are going to grant them pieces of the largesse of government against the better judgment of people that actually have to pay for it. If we lived in Murphy world, we'd have 3 days, 72 hours to vote, and that's it. And I don't care what days you pick. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't care. 72 hours, and you would make it a legal requirement for your employer to give you an opportunity to go and vote during that 72-hour period in time. 25 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Accurate Mortgage. Here's the bottom line with Accurate. They will never, ever, ever do something that's not in your best interest. They do not believe in it. I wish I could say the same for some of these online lenders. I wish I could say the same thing for some of these platforms with the 1-800 numbers, but I can't. You need a trusted local advisor like Accurate Mortgage to help guide you through this crazy world when it comes to home purchase and refinance, not some Joe Blow off the internet. Unlike the big online lenders at Accurate Mortgage, you're not a number to make a quick buck. Accurate will never advise you to do a loan that doesn't make sense for you financially. Accurate Mortgage is simply the finest mortgage company around, and I would only recommend them. So for your refinance, for your renovation of your current property, or perhaps you're looking for something a little more deeper, go to Accurate Mortgage, AccurateMTG.com, AccurateMTG.com, Accurate Mortgage and MLS 129944. Rates and terms subject to change. Equal housing lender.
5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and everyone in Middle Tennessee is under at least a marginal risk for severe weather tonight. Everybody east of 65, it's a little higher. It's a level 1 out of 5 risk. Got that heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight. Right now I'm seeing 93 degrees at the airport, but the heat index, 105. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Couple of tragic stories in Nashville this week. First, Channel 4's Sarah Allen reports on a toddler who drowned in a backyard pool in South Nashville.
Metro police say 2-year-old Viomara Laura Ortiz and her father were planning to swim around 6 p.m. in their backyard pool Monday. When the father was changing, Viomara ran off and he began searching for her. After several minutes, he found her in the pool, unresponsive. Police say, according to camera footage, Viomara was in the water for about 8 minutes before she was found by her father. He performed CPR on her and then rushed her to a fire station nearby. She later died at Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital.
Yeah, this happened on Sadler Avenue. Police say their Youth Services Division is investigating, but the drowning was an apparent accident. Channel 4 says the death of a 15-year-old at the YMCA camp in Antioch has former campers and people who live near there rattled.
Well, we were just kind of shocked and surprised because nothing very bad ever happens over there. It's a very nice, peaceful place, and the kids are well behaved and they run the place nicely. And so we were kind of shocked to hear that.
So yesterday, 15-year-old Camden Robert Callahan of Virginia was fatally injured when a tree fell along the trail. According to investigators, the tree was already leaning overhead when it was touched by another camper. They were all out on a group hike. Metro Nashville police ruling this teen's death an accident. Elsewhere in Middle Tennessee, a final report reveals disturbing details in a Portland dog attack. Police have released their final findings in the death of the infant attacked by a dog inside the home. According to the report, an officer entered the home, found the child's mother holding what appeared to be a decapitated baby after the attack. This happening on April 20th. The dog was later euthanized at the scene because of its aggressive behavior toward officers. An autopsy found the infant, Evelyn Templeton, died from multiple penetrating and blunt traumatic injuries. The death ruled accidental, no charges pending. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes East Bank going eastbound at Shelby Avenue. 40 eastbound at Fessler's Lane. Hendersonville, the left lane blocked. Vietnam Veterans Boulevard eastbound between Gallatin Pike and New Shackle Island Road. Priest Lake got a wreck. Murfreesboro Pike west of Edgeo Lake Drive. Dixon a crash. 40 westbound near the Centerville-Dixon exit 172. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Let's talk for a moment about the heart of your home. I consider the kitchen to be the heart of your home. I think most people would agree with that. I mean, it's where families gather. It's where a lot of your memories are made. And if the heart of your home is not what it could be, what it should be, what do you do? Well, if you love your house and don't care for your kitchen that much, you love your house, don't care for your bathrooms that much, may I introduce you to Timberland Cabinets. Right here in Middle Tennessee, we've got a wonderful cabinet company that is top notch. I mean, let me tell you, I feel like I talk pretty good, right? I think I use my words in a way that paint a nice picture. I cannot express to you how beautiful these things are. You've got to go in and see it for yourself. When you walk through the doors of Timberland Cabinets, you'll see Deb. She's there at the desk. She will direct you to the showroom. You can meet the wonderful people of Timberland. You can meet tall Steve. You can meet medium-sized Steve, or you can meet Tiny Steve. I was going to call him Short Steve, but I think Tiny Steve's better. It's better illustrative of the different sizes of the Steves. They've got multiple Steves to choose from at Timberlake Cabinets, but that's not why you call. You call for durable, beautiful cabinets at affordable prices. If you don't know anything about how to install, if you don't know anything about the process of what to do, just go to Timberlake Cabinets and let them feed you baby birds. They will. 931-499-7170, 499-7170, or online at timberlakecabinets.com.
WTN's Tennessee primary election party is presented by Better Water LLC. Experts in water treatment, purification, filtration, and softening. Better Water LLC, because better water shouldn't be complicated.
Want to know a place where European auto repair does not feel like European auto repair? I've been telling you about this place for some time now. It is Eurofix. You'll notice that Eurofix is not your typical greasy garage. They're just not. Waiting rooms are clean, comfortable, inviting. You could sleep there. Service areas are spotless. You could sleep there. Because Eurofix cares about comfort. They care about everything, as a matter of fact, from how you're treated to how your vehicle's treated. The 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty is rock solid. The free 15-minute no-wrench inspection, rock solid. You don't have to put up with dealer prices. That's rock solid as well. And they won't ghost you when you're waiting on a callback. They treat you like family at Eurofix. They fix everything European. They offer a rental car available at every appointment, with locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. It's time to make the call to Eurofix. If you have a European vehicle and you're not using Eurofix, might I recommend that you're doing it wrong? 844-EUROFIX, 844-EUROFIX, or online at myEurofix.com. Yes, I just looked over Jackson Williams' left shoulder and I saw the head and beard of one Ken Weaver. He is in attendance.
How about your brother Murphy?
What's going on, Ken?
Back here in News Closet B.
I haven't talked a lot today, Ken. You doing all right?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Brother Jackson's a little sleepy.
Yeah, Jackson's
He's up late.
He's not as normal. He gave me a nasty look when I called him out for missing that audio opportunity during the last caller there.
Oh yeah.
When I made reference to the Grand Old RV Resort Convalescence Home and Bat Meat Market.
Yeah.
Up in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. He gave me the stink eye, Ken, is what he gave me.
Gave you the old stink eye.
Oh, you know that. Jackson, how you doing in there?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Rocking and rolling.
You feeling it?
Ready to whoop you.
You feeling good about today? Lost yesterday. Maybe your head was awful in the clouds. Maybe you were already at the IMAX theater ready to go with the Odyssey, that overnight showing. I don't know why. I don't know how. But Murphy came out victorious yesterday, and nincompoops in the news. Yeah!
Nincompoops in the news.
That's right. We do it every day at this time. You know what the news is. You hear Ken Weaver talking about it. You hear Matt Murphy opining on said same. Now it's time to look all across the volunteer state, all across these great 50 United States of America. Nay,
the world. I mean, the globe.
Both of those things. We're going to look at.
Son of a biscuit eater.
We're going to look around. I'll do it again for you, kid. We'll look all across these 50 United States of America.
Nay the globe.
Nay the world.
Nay the world.
Son of a biscuit eater.
We're going to look. We're going to find them.
Screwed it up.
Oh, no, you're all good, kid. You'll get the sympathy votes out of that. By the way, many of you are telling me ways to stop ants from getting in your RV. I will collect all of these and talk to Boyd about them at some future time, so we can shut all that down.
Especially those fire ants, man. Those things.
Do you hear what he said, Ken?
Yes.
Said they were getting on him at night.
Those are painful.
Yes, and he's already going through enough with, you got to deal with incontinence, you got to deal with other things. I mean, my goodness gracious, this man needs some relief. We're going to try to provide him some. All right, speaking of some relief, you got relief from Jackson today, as it is now Matt Murphy's turn to go first.
Oh.
Now, I feel really good about this. Hey, Jackson, are you familiar with the phrase, hoisted by your own petard?
You know, Ken, I'm just going to set the order for Matt because I know what he's going to say.
Okay,
it's going to be Murphy. It's going to be Weaver, and then it's me up the rear.
Ken, are you familiar with what happened yesterday? You were at Southern Command yesterday.
Yes, sir.
But I said to Jackson, Jackson, Johnny B won on Friday because Johnny B was in the house on Friday, and Johnny B won.
Right.
And I said, so Johnny B's not here, so I'm setting the order. And I'm talking to him about this during your newscast. And Jackson says, no, Murphy, I'm setting the order. Johnny B was an executive producer, and I'm an executive producer, and the executive producers stick together, and so I'm setting the batting order. And he started arguing about it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Jackson, where's your story from? Now, you, Ken.
Yes, sir.
You might call this collusion, but this is what I said to him. I said, where's your story from? Because if your story and my story aren't the same story, then I'm not going to fight you on it. Just pick me second.
Right.
So that Ken can't steal my story. Well, what does Jackson do, Ken? Jackson, Weaver, Murphy up the rear.
You got to play the game, brother.
You got to learn to play it right.
Brother Jackson plays to win.
He does.
I stand with Bonnie.
Miss Bonnie.
I need Miss Bonnie to call.
Yeah.
Bonnie needs to call because I need to apologize. I'm being told that I was a little too rough on Bonnie after she cursed on the radio. But I got to hang up on you when you curse on the radio.
Can't say nasty words.
You can't say that. Now, there are some of you that have suggested that the word that Bonnie said is FCC okay. FCC okay and Nashville okay are two different things.
Yes, sir.
And we got to watch out. We got to be careful. Either way, Jackson, you are correct. It is Murphy, Weaver, and Jackson in the rear, which is the preferred way that we say that. We don't say
Yeah. Up yours, too.
Dateline, Boston, Massachusetts. eBay Incorporated has agreed to pay almost $50 million.
Son of a biscuit eater.
To a Massachusetts couple. Y'all know what that means, right? I'll go slow, Ken. $50 million to a Massachusetts couple who said former employees of the company targeted them with threats and bizarre anonymous deliveries, including live insects, a funeral wreath, and a bloody pig Halloween mask. According to settlement details, which were released just today, the parties reached a tentative agreement in February as the case was headed to trial, but they were unable to finalize that agreement. The Steiners asked a federal judge in June to reopen the case, and a new settlement announced resolves the litigation. The agreement with David and Ina Steiner, founders of E-Commerce Bites, a newsletter covering the e-commerce industry, includes an additional $7 million in charitable donations, including to organizations supporting First Amendment rights. That, according to Christopher Murphy, no relation, attorney for the couple. They said the resolution sends a warning that attempts by big business to suppress speech and press will not be tolerated. Mr. Murphy went on, no relation, to say this was not only an attack and a campaign of harassment against two people, it was also an attack on free speech and the freedom of the press. The settlement contains no confidentiality provision, allowing the Steiners to discuss the case publicly. Murphy, no relation, said his clients insisted on being able to speak openly about what happened to them. It resolves more than 6 years of criminal and civil proceedings stemming from a harassment campaign. In their 2021 lawsuit filed in Boston federal court, the Steiner said that the eBay engaged in a conspiracy to intimidate, threaten to kill, torture, terrorize, stalk, and silence them in order to stifle their reporting on eBay. The residents who report on the e-commerce industry in their newsletter said they were subjected to cyber stalking, death threats, in-person surveillance. When a lawsuit was filed, the company said the misconduct of the former employees was wrong, et cetera, et cetera. The company said the conduct was not representative of eBay's culture. They sent these people a pig head in the mail.
Boxes of spiders.
They sent boxes of live cockroaches and spiders to them, a funeral wreath, and a bloody pig face mask to the couple's home. They also sent pornographic magazines with the husband's name on them to a neighbor's house and planned to break into the couple's garage to install a GPS device on their car. That neighbor thing is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Like, pick the nastiest porno magazine you could possibly imagine.
Goodness.
Put Jackson Williams' name on it and then send it to his neighbor's house. So now the neighbor has to come over and look at your mom in the face and go, Ms. Williams, I think this is your son's.
Looks like the postman made a mistake.
This is your boy's. No, ma'am, I don't know what those two people are doing with that spatula and that coaxial cable and Vaseline, but it's your son's. Anyway, eBay, the entire company, they are my nincompoops in the news. Ken Weaver?
Son of a biscuit eater.
What you got over there, Ken? You had 4 stories yesterday.
ChatGPT's medical advice nearly killed a Florida man. A Florida man sued OpenAI, alleging ChatGPT's medical advice discouraged him from seeking treatment for symptoms that preceded a life-threatening pulmonary embolism. Scott Winters, who's a former pastor, filed suit against OpenAI and CEO Sam Altman in San Francisco County Superior Court on Wednesday, claiming the chatbot made inaccurate recommendations that imperiled his health. Winters, what a moron.
That's nincompoop.
Winters argues ChatGPT crossed the line from providing information into practicing medicine without a license. ChatGPT frequently opined on and evaluated Scott's physical condition, conveying the authority and confidence of a doctor, rendering a clinical assessment and treatment recommendation despite not having the qualifications to do so, the lawsuit claims. Winters and Tech Justice Law, a nonprofit assisting with his legal defense, also accuse OpenAI of exploiting Winters' religious beliefs. In 2025, Winters turned to OpenAI's ChatGPT model to try to understand what was causing him to regularly feel dizzy. He also told the chatbot that he was experiencing bouts of blood pressure instability. ChatGPT allegedly dismissed both sets of symptoms and relatively minor, and suggested he stay home and remain recliner bound. Just sit down, man.
Just sit in your chair. You're making me nervous.
Yeah.
The chatbot advised that he'd need to experience between 8 and 10 more episodes for his condition to be considered serious. Advice that Winters followed, the allegations state. Well, a couple of weeks later, he suffered what the suit describes as a massive pulmonary embolism due to blood clots that brought him to the brink of death. That man is a nincompoop.
Fair enough, yes.
And there's a lot of people that are nincompoops because they are listening or they're actually doing what this ChatGPT tells them to do.
Yeah, what kind of moron listens to ChatGPT? I mean, I understand that it can be a help.
Sure.
You know, it can help you figure out what's going on, but it's not the final say. You got to have a human being.
Well, and it doesn't have a medical license.
That is correct.
And that's the whole rub here.
Speaking of things that do not have a medical license, hey, Jackson.
Hi.
You're nincompoop?
Oh, you ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Okay. Incident at local gym leads to indecent exposure charges for Allentown man. An Allentown man has been charged with indecent exposure at Palmer Township Gym. Stephen McCarthy, 35, of the first block of 7th Street, also is charged with 2 counts of misdemeanor simple assault, 1 count summary harassment, and 1 count summary disorderly conduct. He was arraigned Friday before District Judge Jordan A. Kinsley, who set bail at 10% of $100,000. McCarthy was released Saturday, according to court records. The Northampton County Public Defender's Office assigned to McCarty did not immediately return a This story is written backwards. This story is written completely backwards. Township police, just after 7:30 p.m. Friday, were called to Superset's Gym for a reported man touching himself inside of a bathroom stall.
Goodness.
Yikes.
While officers were
Was he doing it backwards?
While officers were en route, an additional call came in reporting that McCarthy was allegedly fighting with people in the locker room with his pants down.
Do it backwards. It feels like somebody else can.
Two men told police they witnessed McCarthy exposing himself in the stall and moaning, according to the affidavit of probable cause against McCarthy. When McCarthy left the stall with his pants still down, he tried to push through the men and began swinging at them with closed fists until they wrestled him to the ground and called police, court records state. He has a prior criminal history.
I'm just glad he was swinging at him with his fists.
Goodness. He was in the stall moaning?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Like, well, I think we can all imagine what type of moan it was.
It wasn't eating lettuce moaning.
Right. That's where I was going, Ken. I mean, there's that there's a lot of that going on. Who does number 2 work for? There's that going on, but I don't feel like that's what old boy's doing. That's how we play Nincompoops in the News. I don't know why 9 of you voted for Ken. I was looking. 9 people voted for Ken before I even got my story out online. That's what we get. Nincompoops in the News. Ken Weaver, Matt Murphy, Jackson Williams. 3 men, 1 vote. Pick wisely. Superdog 99.7 WTN. You know, guys, it's always a big time at the Glock store, and they have fun every single day, every single weekend. But it will be a particularly good time coming up Saturday, August 8th, and I want to tell you all about it. Doors opening at 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. It is an O-Sight day at the Glock store. You can get hands-on range time with your new O-Sight optic or a new O-Sight optic. You can kind of test drive before you buy. They have in-store discounts on O-Sight optics that day. A great raffle giveaway through O-Sight. Free O-Sight swag while supplies last, plus food trucks and on-site ready to serve you. So you go, you have a little lunch, you tour the facility, you look at the O-Sight swag, and you buy something at the Glock store. That's what happens. That's the way it goes. I know I buy something every time I go in there because they've got so much good stuff. Man, oh man, the retail side of things, accessories and magazines and ammunition and guns, Glocks. They've got them. At the Glock store, the Shoot 270 rooms, never lanes, are top-notch, unmatched in our community. And then, of course, O-Sight Day. So mark your calendar, Saturday, August 8th. It's O-Sight Day at the Glock store, minutes away from the airport. Worth the drive from anywhere.
Newly released records provide disturbing details about a fatal dog attack in Middle Tennessee. The case is closed. We'll tell you about it at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
See, I received my story from a loyal listener today at roughly just after, I don't know, it was sometime in the 2 o'clock hour that I received my story from a listener. Yet another listener, 4460, writes in and says, Murphy just did Ken dirty. Ken Weaver said at 2 p.m. on the Chad Benson show that he was going to do the eBay story. That is a Y2J move. Dirty.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
Well, that'll learn them, right? I mean, I didn't hear that happen on the Chad Benson show, but had I heard that happen, knowing that I was going first, I probably would have stolen it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, it's like Brother Jackson said, you got to win the game.
Got to win the game.
From now on, I'm just not going to talk about what I'm going to use.
By the way, currently, I think it's somewhere between you and Jackson. But it's a pretty tight race today. Pretty tight race today on Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nincompoops in the news. Also, there's a big debate going on. If y'all don't enjoy the YouTube chat, I don't know what to tell you. There's we've got the YouTube chat that happens over there on the YouTubes. We're on YouTube, Facebook. Wait, say it right, Murphy. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. That's our television platforms. And on the YouTube channel that's entitled today, Matt Goes After the Amish and the Deaf with 3 question marks. That, because I am. Just call all your Amish friends, tell them to turn on the radio. So there's a big debate going on as to whether or not what Bonnie said on the air last week is actually a curse. I suppose that we could probably get away with it.
I'm going to look it up.
I think we could probably get away. I mean, we can get away with most anything nowadays. I mean, the world's changed in the last 20, 25 years.
It's really, the big one's the F word.
F and the S-bomb.
You could probably get away with one S-bomb.
All right. That's tough. But
ain't that right, Weaver?
Here's what this old boy's doctor says. Richarding around is generally considered mild slang or crude language rather than a true curse word. Though it does contain a root word that is vulgar.
Well, yeah.
So doesn't that mean the one that involves the F word's okay, too? It's the same thing.
I mean, it's the same.
You're just replacing the 4-letter word.
It's the same thing.
So
cursing, one of these days we're going to have a nice conversation about this. I've never understood this.
What?
That society determines that I can say on air. Now, obviously, the Federal Communications Commission is involved with the radio side of things, and it's antiquated rules that need to be changed anyway. Because you go on a podcast, you'll hear every word imaginable.
And that's just from Matt.
And that's just from me. I mean, I say it on our podcast all the time, on All the Best Words and on Mostly Peaceful. But I can say that Jackson spent all afternoon screwing around after he watched that screwy Odyssey movie last night. Now, I'm fine. But if I say Jackson spent all day effing around because he watched that effing Odyssey movie last night, I'm going to get fired. And this radio station is going to be fined if I said those words. What's up with that? It's the same thing. Like, what's the difference? These are not faith-based words that we're using to offend other people based on their faith. These are just societal conventions that we've assigned meaning to that really don't have any. I say poop on all of it. Poop on all of it.
Dookie. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and everyone in Middle Tennessee is under at least a marginal risk of severe weather tonight. Everybody east of 65, it's a little bit higher risk. It's a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather tonight. We're also still under this heat advisory until 8 o'clock. Right now, I got 92 degrees at the airport, and the heat index is 100. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And if you have a flight to catch, you better call ahead. ABC News is reporting that American Airlines flights are grounded nationwide because of an IT outage. This according to an FAA advisory. Right now in Middle Tennessee, newly released records provide disturbing details about a fatal dog attack that claimed the life of a Portland infant in April. Police say an officer responding to the home found evidence of severe injuries before encountering the mother holding what appeared to be a decapitated baby. The victim was later identified as Evelyn Templeton. Authorities say the autopsy classified the death as accidental. The case is now being closed. The dog had to be put down at the scene. Then there's this in South Nashville, where Channel 4's Sarah Allen reports a 2-year-old drowned in a backyard pool.
Metro Police say 2-year-old Viomara Laura Ortiz and her father were planning to swim around 6 p.m. in their backyard pool Monday. When the father was changing, Viomara ran off and he began searching for her. After several minutes, he found her in the pool unresponsive. Police say, according to camera footage, Viomara was in the water for about 8 minutes before she was found by her father. He performed CPR on her and then rushed her to a fire station nearby. She later died at Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital.
So this happened on Sadler Avenue. That's Sadler Avenue in South Nashville. Detectives in the Metro Nashville Police Department's Youth Services Division are investigating, but authorities have described the drowning as an apparent accident. 2 people are dead in what Murfreesboro police say was a murder-suicide at the Saddlebrook Apartments overnight. This is about a mile away from MTSU. This man telling Channel 4.
My girlfriend woke me up about 1:43-ish, somewhere around there. She heard 2 gunshots go off, called the cops. Police cars came. All I can hear is just the woman just yelling, screaming. She was saying, like, help, he shot him.
Detectives have determined the men knew each other. They believe the shooting was an isolated incident. The Criminal Investigations Division continues to work to determine what led to the shootings. And election 2026, Republican gubernatorial candidate John Rose telling WTN's Chris Hand today he's not going to debate unless Marsha Blackburn does. And that is even if it would benefit him without her participation.
Perhaps so. And our polling data tells us, incidentally, that, I'm the second choice of the vast majority of Tennesseans who may have chosen for one reason or another to support one of the other candidates. But I think at the end of the day, if you're going to have a debate, you need to have all of the voices at the table and Tennesseans. And so if we did that, then clearly we'd be letting her off the hook.
Reports say Rose has campaigned in all 95 Tennessee counties, held more than 45 in-person town halls, participated in numerous candidate forums, and has done dozens of interviews with reporters. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, Creve Hall, we got a crash. Harding Place at Overcrest Drive. Hermitage, crash. Off-ramp partially blocked. 40 eastbound off-ramp to Stewart's Ferry Pike. Priest Lake, Murfreesboro Pike, west of Edgeoe Lake Drive. B&A got a crash. Murfreesboro Pike, east of Old Murfreesboro Pike. And in Hendersonville, still showing an accident. Right shoulder block. Vietnam Veterans eastbound between Gallatin Pike and New Shackle Island Road. Dixon got a crash. 40 westbound near the Centerville-Dixon, exit 172. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello. Welcome back. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another hour, final hour of this Tuesday edition. Happy to have you with us on a variety of platforms to include Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Votes ongoing on the YouTube chat. Those will close in about 2 minutes. Votes ongoing for Nincompoops in the News, which will also close in about 2 minutes. On the text line, that's 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. So thank you for being with us. We appreciate you, et cetera, et cetera. Give us a call if you so desire. Yesterday, we were discussing Zohran Mamdani, and his decision is, I mean, he made a campaign promise, and I suppose he's fulfilling a campaign promise to open up 5 separate city-owned grocery stores in the 5 separate boroughs and sell items at 30% less. We gave short treatment of this nonsense, this socialism, yesterday. And I had an interesting email in my inbox. I don't get a lot of emails anymore. I really don't. I get text messages. I get social media posts. I get messenger posts. I get, people hit me up on the X machine where I hang out quite a bit. Twitter is a cesspool full of awful people saying awful things about awful subjects. And, I love it. I'm there wallowing around. The nature of the question, I don't have it right in front of me, but the nature of the question is, what's so wrong with these city-owned grocery stores? What's so bad? What could possibly go wrong if they're trying to provide in some areas of the city, there are food deserts. What's so wrong, Matt, with the city selling goods at a discounted price? I'm going to tell you. But before I do, I'll remind you what Mamdani said yesterday. A little audio video for me, Jackson. Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, the largest city in the United States of America, one of the most important cities from an economic standpoint in the U.S., nay, the globe. Here's Mamdani explaining to us what they're going to do with their borough grocery stores.
We know that for many New Yorkers, 30% at the grocery store means something very different. Since 2019, food prices have soared at grocery stores around the country by roughly 30%, in fact. Talk to shoppers around the city, and you'll often hear the same frustration. Wages have not kept up. Making matters even worse, some corporations have built out technology that allows for something called surveillance pricing, collecting personal data to charge some people more than others for the same carton of eggs, for the same gallon of milk. All of this leaves too many New Yorkers feeling like groceries are out of reach.
Okay, so you see what he's doing here? Okay, he is attempting to make capitalism the bad guy, the free market the bad guy, the free market that has worked for so many years for so many people across these United States of America. The free market's out to screw you. The free market doesn't work, according to Mamdani. And oh, by the way, also, did you see where I paused it? You see that? That's a great look right there. See that right there? That's a great look. He looks exactly as dopey as he sounds right there, frozen on the screen.
And that is frankly unacceptable, which is why city government is stepping in to make people's lives more affordable. Today,
Nothing that city government does will make your life more affordable.
Proud to announce a collection of essential staples that will be predictably 30% cheaper at all 5 of our city-run grocery stores.
Oh, boy, that's going to be great, right? 30% cheaper. We're all coming out better.
This core set of goods will include all fresh produce, meat, and seafood, along with 20 other essential items like cheese, milk, and bread. Here's how it will work. Once a month, our 5 city-run grocery stores will set prices for this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices. No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for the entire month. That means no weekly fluctuations nor sticker shock at the checkout line. Not for our seniors living on fixed incomes, nor for the parents who rely on a regular supply of apple slices to keep toddler tantrums at bay. Now, can we all see?
Yes, your bananas.
This incredible example of produce.
Bananas.
Now, you will see these plantains here. So for anyone wondering how much these beautiful plantains might...
Those are plantains. They're not bananas. We at the Matt Murphy Radio Show, to include Ken Weaver, Jackson Williams, and yours truly, Matt Murphy, sincerely regret the error.
You ever had a plantain?
I don't know that I have.
Tasty.
Are they?
Yeah.
What do they taste like?
Kind of a potato-y kind of thing.
Not bananas?
No, it's weird, but it's tasty.
Looks like a banana?
Yeah, kind of got a potato-y taste to it.
Huh.
Real good fried up.
Okay, I believe
it's like a sweeter potato.
Okay. Mom, Donnie, hush. Jackson's talking. The next governor of the state of Tennessee.
This QR code, or head to grocery.nyc to access our policy report. I'm going to demonstrate exactly what that means.
Okay, so when you're food insecure and you've got nowhere else to turn, you can go to these city grocery stores, and apparently you have to use, what is he saying? You have to use your cell phone to do this?
Report. I'm going to demonstrate exactly what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, the QR code does work. You can see this here.
Yay.
There you can learn more about our city-owned grocery store program, including the 30% discount. 30% off.
Okay, so that's Zoran Mamdani, and we're done with that audio video there. Zoran Mamdani is promoting that nonsense. Now, let's talk about this. This is quite literally how you go about destroying an economy. This is, I'm done with the screen. Are you done? You got it? Okay. This is quite literally how you go about destroying an economy. And I want to walk through the steps that you need to understand. So you open up these grocery stores. Now, how do they provide these goods? And Jackson, I'm going to use you as a little bit of a ballast here. How do you think that they manage to provide these certain items at 30% off? How can they possibly sell the same items that down the road are 30% more? How can they sell them at a discounted rate?
It's taxpayer funded, so they don't have to worry about
very good. Excellent.
Margins.
Excellent. So it's taxpayer funded. So taxpayers subsidize those community-run grocery stores. They're going to subsidize the amount of money that the people are being paid to work there. They're going to subsidize the light bill. They're going to subsidize the trash. They're going to subsidize the janitorial services. They're going to subsidize the water services. They're going to subsidize, the groceries that come through the front door. Everything will be subsidized through increased taxation on the other side. So you're basically redistributing wealth in the sense that the higher earners in New York City are going to pay the freight, and the lower earners get the benefit of the lower cost items. Two things are going to happen once this occurs. The people being overly taxed are going to leave. They're going to leave. Those that have the ability will leave, both individuals and businesses. So if I'm taxed at an undue rate to pay for the goods in this case, or services in other cases, for other people in New York City, eventually, if I am able to get out, I will get out. This has been proven time and time and time again, every time something like this has been attempted, that the people that are paying the freight get out of Dodge as soon as they possibly can. Now, you add this to their luxury homeowners ship tax. What do they call it? It's like a peu de plus tax, or whatever it is. It's some French phraseology. And they'll leave even quicker. So the people being overly taxed are going to leave. Number two, shoppers will shop at these stores. Oh yeah. In the beginning, this will be utopiistic. Friends, in the beginning, Mom Donnie will declare universal and unilateral victory, that we told you that this was working. Look at how it's working. At the beginning, it will seem as if it's working because the people that are paying the freight have not figured out an exit strategy, an off-ramp, and so they're continuing to pay, and then you lower the price at these particular city-owned grocery stores. Well, guess who can't compete at that point? If shoppers flock to these city-owned grocery stores because they're selling many of their items at 30% less. So regardless of who you are, I mean, these are just grocery stores, right? You don't have WIC coupons. You don't have EBT. You don't have food stamps. These are just grocery stores that are selling at 30% off. So if you and I, Jackson, are in New York and we've got grocery store A or grocery store B, they're exactly the same except grocery store B is 30% less. Where are we going?
B.
We're going to B. What happens to A? Eventually, A shuts down. You are unfairly competing in the marketplace for customers because you're subsidizing through taxation the cost of the goods. So shoppers are going to leave the traditional grocery store and go to the subsidized community stores. So then the traditional grocery stores go bankrupt and they close down. When that happens, you have disruptions in supply chain. The supply chain breaks down because they can't continue to supply the amount of goods necessary to keep in stock the things that need to be in stock in these community grocery stores, and they got zero competition. Plus, it is not cost effective for me to go into the city just to supply these grocery stores when so many of the other bodegas and grocery stores have shut down. So you have long lines at the community grocery stores because they're very popular, 30% off after all. You've got other shutdowns going on. You've got, in the meantime, the tax-paying citizens fleeing the city, government panic, or rather, the people panic, the government doubles down on the project, even more people flee. Then the government's answer is to start attempting to prevent legit businesses from closing down, and they'll offer the subsidies at those businesses which will speed up the process. People leave, businesses shut down, only community-based businesses are run. The government has to go up on the taxes that for the people that are left because there are fewer of those people that are paying into the tax base. And eventually you walk into these stores and the supply chain has shut down to the point that you don't see bread on the shelves and you're wondering where the hell is the bread? You don't see the bananas, or in this case, the plantains on the shelf, and you wonder where the hell are the plantains? When people do find bread or plantains or eggs or milk and they're worried about not being able to find them next week because there's no competition, there's no supply chain feeding these community grocery stores anymore, and you can't keep up with the demand because so many people want to shop there as opposed to any of the others that still remain in business, people start hoarding. Then the government enforces controls on how much you can purchase at any given time. In some cases, because I'm not making this up, all of this has happened in the past. In some cases, they provide credits by which you're only allowed to shop on certain days and you're only allowed to shop for certain items and certain things on certain days based on when you purchased them last, which involves tracking. and society slowly descends into control, fear, socialism, and chaos. It happened in the Soviet Union, it happened in Cuba, it happened in Venezuela, and it will happen in New York City too. And that is the story. That is what happens when government attempts to manipulate the free market using money that it does not have, because it doesn't have any money on its own. All of that comes from the taxpayers. 22 after the hour. That's your lesson in socialism for the day. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Efficient heating and cooling is, well, efficient, and they will get the AC working on your system if it's not working properly. That's the bottom line. Jeff Eddy wants you to know if your AC is not ready, call Jeff Eddy. He doesn't talk about himself in the third person, but I talk about him like that. The best way to head off costly repairs is to get them out early. So if you've noticed an issue, if you're worried that you might have something coming down the road, don't whistle past the graveyard. Call Jeff Eddy in Efficient Heating and Cooling. Get their maintenance team out. Let them check out that unit. It's going to be more cost effective that way, and it's going to cost you less money in the long run. We believe that. Jeff Eddy's also the best when it comes to replacement. There will come a time when your AC is done. There will come a time when that unit needs to go bye-bye and you need to get a new one. It's more efficient that way, and when that unit becomes so janky that you're just pouring money into it, that's the time that you know that Jeff Eddy will advise you to get a new AC, to get a new HVAC unit. And when he does, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem that can select the right one for you. 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or online at efficienthvac.net. Super Talk 99.7 WTN 8726 points out that apparently, much like a true communist, the only requirement's you use your mobile device. I don't know if he said it was a requirement. I'll have to go back and listen to scan the QR code. So you're assuming that everyone that's using your stupid government-run grocery store has a cell phone? I guess you're providing those too, I imagine. Obama phones. Remember those? I remember Obama phones. Got to get your Obama phone. Let's go to the phones. Speaking of, Jason wants to talk, Ricky wants to talk, but next up, it's Mike from Old Hickory. Mike.
How you doing, Matt?
Mike, I'm good. I heard something about you earlier today, and I just don't believe it.
Just don't believe it.
Hold on, Mike.
Don't believe it.
Were you got in trouble with one of our partners over at the sports station earlier today?
Well, we get into good talks and talk about stuff.
I heard Dawn Davenport was mad at you, boy. I heard she was mad at you.
Well, almost used the F word 4 times. So that's pretty bad. But anyway, it's
only
just
I didn't say fudge. Anyway, yeah, well, okay. Well, you better watch yourself. Listen, Mike, tangling with me is one thing, but don't.
I know this.
But don't.
And that's why I want to give you a simpler analogy.
Okay, well.
What you were just talking about up there in Mundummy, up there in New York.
Yeah. Dummy, yes.
Dummy, up there in New York. Here's an example, and it's very simple. I'm a little girl selling lemonade here in Davidson County for 10 cents a cup, okay?
Hey, mark that where Mike says he's a little girl. Thank you. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, now, I'm saying a little anybody that wants to sell lemonade
yes.
at the corner and for 10 cents a cup. And then the mayor of Nashville comes down and says, no, you can't do that anymore. You have to cut your cost 30%. You can only sell it for 7 cents a cup. And then that little girl says, I can't do that. I've got costs. And I've got my supply, I've got my lemon, my sugar, and my water costs for my suppliers. And I can't do that because she goes, you're going to have to do it because you're going to have to cut 30%. So then she goes back to her suppliers. Says, I've been told by the mayor of Nashville, I've got to raise my prices, so I've got to make you pay more. And they're going, we can't pay more. We're going to give you these lemons, the sugar, and the water for this price. And if you can't make money at 7 cents because the mayor says you have to, well, that's your problem. So that little girl then says, well, then, you know what, Mr. Mayor, I cannot make money at 7 cents. So I'm going to have to go somewhere else. And he goes, well, that's your problem. So she goes to Wilson County. And she says, I'm going to open up my new lemonade stand. I keep my 10 cents, not making a whole lot of profit, but I am making a profit at 10 cents. So that's the analogy of what Dummy is doing in New York that's being spread around the country. These little businesses, these little girls, little guys, or whatever, selling their little lemonade stands and being told by these socialist, communist mayors, you can only sell your product for this. But they forget down the line that the suppliers are saying, hey, we can't provide you your product for 30% less because we have to make a profit. And you are exactly right. This is why socialism and communism doesn't work, will always fail, because they just put that little girl out of work.
Yeah, I mean, Margaret Thatcher said it so well. We continue to repeat it to this very day that the trouble with socialism is that eventually you run out of other people's money. It is 100% accurate. Eventually, those people either run out of their own money or they cease to exist because they've left. They've gone somewhere else. And then you have exit taxation and exit. I mean, why do you think they had to build the Berlin Wall? I promise you, it wasn't to keep people from bum rushing the communists in the Soviet Union. It's quite the other way around. 615-737-9986. Back to calls momentarily. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. We've been talking about Dr. Kevin, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team for some time now. Their system simply works. They are constantly on the lookout for a better way to help heal you naturally, to help eliminate the pain from your body, to help you live a better life without the intrusion of pain, which is truly what it is, into your life, without having to pop pills, without having to worry about blockers in the form of needles, and certainly without having to worry about surgery. That's what it's all about, friends. Pain in a natural way. Right now, they have an Epic Spinal Special. They've got $33 off every visit. They've been running that for the entire year of 2026. Obviously, they've got the incredible spinal decompression, but also Hydro Wave and the new Medical Bay 1, all available for you and all designed to increase healing possibilities for you and for your loved ones. Painisbad.com, indeed. Painisbad.com, or call them at 615-246-5009, 246-5009. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Wellness Institute of Nashville. Boy, I hope none of you are heading to the airport right now. Well, if you are heading to the airport right now, I hope you're not flying American. This just coming in the last 10 minutes or so. The Federal Aviation Administration, this is breaking news. I think this merits a breaking news sounder, like a legit. I think we should break some news with the breaking news sounder. That's right.
This is a breaking news update on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So the Federal Aviation Administration has issued a nationwide ground stop for all American Airlines flights today. A nationwide ground stop for all American Airlines flights, after the carrier reported a system-wide IT outage that disrupted operations across its network. American Airlines acknowledged the outage in a statement posted to X. We're currently experiencing a system-wide IT outage. Our team is working to get everything restored as quickly as possible. The airline has not said what caused the outage or how long the disruption is expected to last. The FAA's ground stop prevents American airline departures nationwide while the issue is addressed. Flights already in the air are obviously are going to be permitted to continue to their destinations. Travelers should expect delays and possible cancellations as the airlines work to restore its systems. Jackson, while I go to Ricky on the phone here, can you look up how many flights American Airlines is responsible for on a daily basis across the United States? I cannot fathom how this will disrupt the airline industry if this stoppage lasts any length of time. What do you got?
6,700 to 7,000 flights per day.
All of them are stopped for right now. And that went down about 6:24, so about 15 minutes ago. And obviously, there's American Airlines that fly into BNA, right? Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, they fly everywhere. So if you're heading out to BNA or you've got a flight that's scheduled for later on tonight or perhaps tomorrow, might want to look into that because this is going to cause a cascade effect and it's going to disrupt travel. If it happens for any length of time, it's going to disrupt travel. And it's a pretty significant situation if the FAA called for a ground stop. Ricky is next up. Ricky, what's going on?
Hey, I enjoy your show, Matt. And now, also one thing I want to tell you, which is common, I spent my early years, like the late 80s and 90s in Martinez, Georgia, which was not too far from Thompson, Georgia.
Oh, yeah. I know Martinez very well.
I did training at the Medical College of Georgia at that time.
Martinez, Evans over there, Columbia County. Yeah. I know. That's my old stomping ground, brother.
Yeah, Highway 20 and, those exits. I still remember those, like Evans and so on.
Oh, you passed by Thompson quite a bit. THOMSON, no P in Thompson.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I agree with most of the things, but, sometimes just being a devil's advocate. So there are poor people who need food. I mean, food is one of the essential things in life. And some seniors, sometimes they have to choose between food and medicine. And people who are really poor. So if they could get some benefit out of out of it, it would not change the whole system. It's saying like Walmart would basically bankrupt Kroger's and Publix, which is not happening. Or U.S. Post Office having overnight rate of $19 or $20 would bankrupt FedEx or UPS, actually. Or Medicare running with the overhead of 1.8% versus commercial insurance company having overhead of 20 to 40% on every dollar spent on healthcare in this country. So I feel like it's okay as long as they are running more efficient operations. They're not taking much profit, particularly, and trying to subserve a segment of population which is
they don't have to. But Ricky, they don't have to take a profit because they're taking from the taxpayer. That's why they don't have to take a profit.
So I'm not sure whether they did say that they'll be taking money from taxpayers.
Of course. Hold on. Let's explore that for just a minute before we go any further.
Sure.
Ricky, where does the government get its money?
Government gets its money by paying taxes, and sometimes they distribute that money by giving tax breaks or creating president's account on all the newborns. So it's all redistribution of.
So how can they?
To get some personal favor
predicated. So if you believe, predicated in your argument, not your belief, but your argument is this idea that greed is creating a dynamic by which these grocery store owners are taking advantage of the poor people. And I would argue that it left to the free market system, they're going to charge as little as they possibly can for those items because they want the business from the patrons that are in the city. That's what the free market is all about. That's what you have to believe in free market. In order to believe in free market capitalism, you have to believe in the concept of driving prices down through competition.
So let me ask you, Matt. So all the Walmart offer 30 to 40% lower price than Publix or Kroger's or some high-end food store. Why all the people are not going to Walmart? They still go to Kroger's and Publix. Exactly. You could compete by quality and accessibility. So, I think that's possible. I mean, private grocery store could try to compete with it and also go ahead.
For the Walmart Publix example, I mean, Publix is providing other things other than rock bottom prices that people are that appeal to people. People are willing to pay an additional amount of money for the experience of shopping at Publix over the experience of shopping at Walmart. That's why Publix stays in business charging what they do, and Walmart stays in business charging what they do.
Sure. And same thing could be true of the grocery store. All the capital, privately run grocery stores, they could provide better service, less margin, and so all the people would not go there.
Well, I would argue that all of the people in New York City on a limited budget will begin gravitating to those discount stores, and those stores are artificially discount based on taxpayer subsidy. So it's an unfair practice against those other grocery stores that can't compete with their prices.
But the post office does offer lower overnight rate than FedEx and UPS, but still both are working in U.S.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, FedEx charges $40 for overnight. U.S. Post Office charges $20.
Right, but okay. Now, would they be able to do that without subsidy from the taxpayers?
I think many years U.S. Post Office ran without not losing money. But sometimes the overhead gets big and people don't run it efficiently. Then we end up because rural area there's no competition. Even Amazon and UPS. They're using post office to deliver mail in the rural area because they don't want to go there.
When was the last year the U.S. Postal Service did not lose money?
I think last few years, I agree with you 100% that they are not running efficient operations. Things are bloated with all the pension and healthcare benefits. But I would say 10 or 20 years ago, they were not losing. By
the way, the last year the U.S. Postal Service ran a net profit was 2006, but that is even accounting for taxpayer subsidy that the post office has received in a variety of different ways. Bottom line is this, that the post office FedEx comparison isn't a fair one because the U.S. Postal Service is not a free market. They get government subsidy. It's a fair comparison in the sense of, but if you're trying to compare the U.S. Postal Service is the government-run grocery store versus FedEx, which is the free market.
Just FedEx and UPS, basically.
Well, and how is that going for the U.S. Postal Service right now?
I think they're losing money, but on the other side, they're providing essential services to low population area, villages where Amazon and FedEx would not go there to deliver mail. So they have to provide 6-day service for every place, actually, versus FedEx, etc., would not go to deliver mail in rural areas where they cannot make money.
Well, I would argue, point to me to a place where government-owned grocery stores have worked.
I do not know. It's just experimentation, and they should not use taxpayer money. I agree with you. They should use more efficiency, better dealing.
But Ricky, this is where we kind of get sideways. Everything the government does inherently is going to use some level of taxpayer money, even if they claim that they are servicing whatever they're doing through the amount of money that the customers are paying. there are embedded government taxations that they don't experience because they are a part of the government that the free market does. It's still not a level playing field.
I'm an expert in healthcare, and I feel like, the private insurance doesn't want to take poor or disabled, actually, just because they have overhead of 20 to 40 cents on a dollar, actually, while Medicare run at 1.8 cents on a dollar with overhead. So government could run efficient operation, and government is basically selected by us, actually. We are the government ultimately.
Well, Ricky, I would argue that the government does nothing as efficiently and cost effectively as the free market system. Nothing is what my argument would be. It's 10 minutes until the top of the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Times are tough. Absolutely, I agree. Now, if you need a new truck or a minivan, maybe an SUV, Mid-10 Ford, they can help you out with great selection, terrific pricing as well. Mid-10 Ford, they've been around for 56 years, since 1969, helping people get the vehicle that is right for them. They can help you save $1,000 or more on select Ford trucks. They also offer special financing as well if you need it. Now, Mid-10 Ford, I like to say that they're a one-stop shop. You can buy your vehicle there at Mid-10 Ford. You can get it serviced. They have a body shop as well. So you want a brand new or a pre-owned vehicle, you can check out all of the great deals at their website, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. They offer low-pressure sales, maximum customer service if you show up at their business, 1319 Foster Avenue. This is a family-owned business going back 4 generations. So, yeah, they do know how to treat customers. So let them help you get into your next vehicle. Again, low-pressure sales, maximum customer service. Find them online, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. Let their family take care of your family.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find it.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls, causing issues, settlement, or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, I watched you do it. It's, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt, we appreciate you.
I've been accused of being an agent of AIPAC, Jackson. You take all the AIPAC money on this show, right?
No.
No? Oh, I bet Levin gets it all. Makes sense. I don't know. I'm not an agent of AIPAC. A loyal listener to the radio show, 1733, says, it's day 4 of Matt refusing to talk about the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, specifically Section 219. I'm starting to wonder if you're taking AIPAC money. Apparently, there is an intelligence bill with similar wording that they're trying to pass as well. I mean, you're welcome to call in about any subject of your choosing. That is one of the promises and premises of the Matt Murphy Show. It's a promise and a premise. I love engaging with the listening audience. You're the smartest listening audience on planet Earth. I am short with you. I demand a lot with you. I demand a lot of you. And I love every single one of you, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. We're one big happy family. So you're able to call in about really any subject matter of your choosing, any day of your choosing. For what it's worth, I'm against 219 in the National Defense Authorization Act. Even as our alliances are strong with certain nations, including Israel, we have a strong alliance with Israel. But I do not believe in entangling our military resources with theirs any further than they already are. I do not believe that we should be required to blend our testing, research, and production with theirs. And there's a legitimate concern that the shared technology and the shared supply chain would do just that. I don't believe in entanglement along those levels, even as I support Israel. I mean, I don't have a problem with the nation of Israel. I do have a problem with them involving themselves in our affairs in a way that makes it difficult for policymakers to determine whether or not they're doing our bidding or Israel's bidding. I mean, one of the reasons that I had concerns about the success of the engagement in Iran was simple, that I did not know what outcome we could achieve that would be a mission accomplished moment for us, particularly when Israel has so much more going on that they want to accomplish, and we're seeing that play out in real time. So I hope that answers your question, buddy. 615-7, and you're always welcome to call, and you're always welcome to offer an opinion on this radio show. And I would just humbly request that you don't accuse me of taking money from anybody. I don't take money from any outside organization, but that's fine. I mean, I know you're just trying to poke me, and you poked the bear and you got a response, and that's good. 615-737-99. Oh, what am I doing? It's time to go. I thought we had another segment. That's how much fun I was having, Jackson. But that's going to wrap it up for a Tuesday edition. I think it's time for a nap. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to go see the Odyssey again?
I would.
Let's go. Find us a couple of seats. Let's make it happen. 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's make it happen. Friends, we'll be back tomorrow, regardless of whether we go see the Odyssey tonight. That's happening at 3 p.m. Middle Tennessee time. Until then, for Jackson Williams, for Ken Weaver, and the rest of the crew, thank you for being with us. Hug your loved ones. Matt Murphy speaking and saying so long, everybody.